there, y'all travelers. Welcome on back to the Trading Post. Whoo, got a lot of things to catch up. I don't know if y'all been watching them there Avalon night shows, but intense couple of days. Go back and check those out. But first, let's go see what Marshal Kevin's got for us today.
Hello and welcome. And the first thing Marshal Kevin has for you today is a very sore throat. And I bet I'm probably not the only one here that's suffering some signs of extreme role play. As Marty pointed out, some of us have been doing this for several days now. So we're going to crank this up and do it again because this is what we do. And we're going to start by introducing the storytellers that are working with me tonight. First, immediately next to me, playing Baptiste, Orion from Roll for Initiative. And next to him, we've got our very own Hannah playing Ellie. At the far end, just went black, but I'm sure he'll be back. But that rhymed, weird. Lucius, played by our very own Lessamax. And then on the bottom row, they've got company this week. Isn't that nice? The two that started this together, the two that have been on the train since before this adventure began, Miss Alice and Mr. Jett, the cowboy's cowboy. And after that smattering of applause, and that was a smattering, was it not? I'm pretty sure.
That is not even enough that I deserve. I deserve so much more.
Here she goes. So last week, let's just keep this real short and sweet. Last week, Miss Alice met one of her heroes, and he scared the crap out of her.
Apparently, I met him a long time ago, actually.
You did, but you re-met him. There's a whole new him, and you dropped stuff and were momentarily unladylike. You were very momentarily unladylike in your pants, in fact.
I do not know what you are talking about.
We'll just move on then, shall we? Miss Ellie met a man with a parasitic alcoholic leprechaun in his head, who also may or may not be intimately connected or actually physically be associated with a bar that's had a train run through it. Either way, he's not doing real well, and he's standing in the wreckage trying to put it all back together. Father Baptiste and Undertaker Lucius had an interesting day with the dead that would not stay down. They insisted on dancing. You solved the problem to some extent, or at least prevented the locals from seeing it. In the process, I think it's fair to say they continued to bond over their professionalism, and probably also over the unprofessionalism of the local grave digger, Jeb Early, who seems to be showing a distinct lack of respect for the bodies. And Jett. This ain't going to take long. Jett slept through the whole thing. He did have a couple of dreams. He did primarily, the short version of this is he learned to dance like no one was watching. And then after a night of rest of varying degrees, they all went to bed and slept the sleep of the probably damned. The already damned, and the ones that don't know they're damned yet. But the next morning found them all. If you'd all like to draw 3 chips, please, and put them on your sheet, I'll just paint us a little picture. The remains of breakfast sit on this table. The sun's coming through the window, catching the dust and the light. You're all pushed back a bit. It's quiet outside. Normally by this time of the morning, there'd be people moving around. There'd be business happening. There'd be people calling. There'd be animal sounds. It's none of that. Finally, maybe, paradise is finally in mourning. So with that, let's go back down the rabbit hole to our very own poison paradise. Breakfast is done. Plans have kind of been made. What would we like to do?
Just a question. Did I get the bodies from last night at the bar?
Yes, you did. It took a lot of work. You are also very tired. The first one, Ted, the older man, had been dug out for you for the most part. You assume it must have been Ellie that did that, maybe with a little bit of help. But the other one was still pretty much buried in the rubble. He was a very big man. It took a lot of work to get him dragged out and wrapped up.
Mm-hmm. I probably didn't even see Charlie because I was so busy.
Charlie, you got there just after dark, and no, Charlie's not there.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, let's just start this off with a roll. Make me a searching roll.
Okie dokie.
Well, I find my cheat sheet. There we go.
Searching, right?
Yep.
Okay, this should be interesting.
A 7. Okay. As you're digging out this large body, you're pretty sure he was called Larry? Because I think I had Ronald written down. What's your bar? So is it Larry? It's Larry. There you go. You're digging Larry out and throwing rubble over your shoulder. And as you do, you hear as the bits of rubble hit the ground behind you. And then off to the side, where you aren't throwing rubble, you hear clank, the sound of glass hitting glass. You stop and you hear clank.
Hello?
The sound of somebody shuffling, but it doesn't last long enough. It's like somebody shuffling part of a deck of cards.
Hello? Are you, someone there?
And you hear some more, and over in the corner, a pile of rubble, sort of a little bit of dust rises up off of it. You've got a torch, I'm assuming, because it's dark.
Yeah,
By
I
this
had
point,
a
it's a little
lantern.
bit of moonlight. Yeah, your lantern. You spin the light over in that direction, and just as you do, a small cupboard opens up that's been buried under rubble as well, but somehow it's still complete. And this incredibly thin, dirty, filthy man, he's got really nice clothes on, but they're all ripped up. His string tie is all askew and off to one side. In his one hand, he's got about 15 or 20 playing cards. They're all bent and out of shape. And in the other hand, he's got a bottle. It's got about that much left in the bottom of it. And he looks up at you and says, "Hey, how you doing?"
I'm good. Wait, are you the infamous Charlie I have been hearing about?
Infamous. Ta-da!
Okay, but it's finally nice to meet you. Given the circumstances.
That's right, you've never met Charlie before. Okay, in that case, you don't get a roll on this. Yeah, he's wobbling back and forth in front of you. So you come for a drink? I get you one. And he disappears down into the cupboard again and comes up with another bottle.
I don't usually drink on my work. I'm here to collect, as you can see, Larry and was it Charlie again?
Larry and Ted.
Larry and Ted, unfortunately. Ellie sent me over.
I'll drink to them. And he slams the other bottle on the little flat spot of wood. Good guys, them guys.
Yes, they really were. I only met him briefly. He gave me a drink before I had to head out. Really
You should
nice.
have another one now for him.
For him, I will. I'll take a drink, a quick one.
And he hands you the remains of the bottle, a little bit left in the bottom, and he takes the other one, pops the cork, and has a big drink.
Cheers
To Ted.
to Ted.
To Larry. To me.
I'm out now, but that's all right. Okay.
Clink, another one on the counter.
All right, to you, Charlie.
To you.
That's all right. I really need to get to work before I need to take them out here.
I see a trick.
Sure. I love magic tricks, actually.
I say it's a magic trick. It's just a trick. Watch this disappear. And he drops the empty bottle beside him. I should go back to bed.
Yes. go back to bed, Charlie. I'll check on you later, if you're okay with that.
Make a... Let's make a guts check for me.
Okie dokie. Guts. Right about here.
Should be on the right-hand side. Yeah. Oh, okay. You see Charlie wobble again, and he gets this confused look on his face, and he looks down at the bottle, and you feel a presence, just like you've been punched in the back of the head. Something's trying to get in. And for just a second, there's this sort of forward slam. Your head slams forward, your eyes come down onto that bottle, and that's all you want in the world. And then you shake your head. That's not me. And it's gone. And behind you, you hear Charlie go, "Ah, shit."
Oh, what happened?
He got out. I'm sorry.
Your puka friend I heard about.
Yeah, now I'm fucking sober too. Yeah, he doesn't think this bar is good enough for him.
Well, maybe we can remedy that. Is there anything I can help you with?
And he starts looking around at the mess.
Ah, I see.
You could start by not throwing my legs and arms all over the place.
Oh, please explain a little bit more if you don't mind.
Let me show you. And he grabs a couple pieces of wood and kind of puts the broken ends together, and you hear and one of his ribs that was caved in is popped back out. You notice that they're all kind of caved in on that side. And as an undertaker, you're like, how the hell is he breathing? And then he takes that piece of wood and puts it in the corner, and as he stands it up on the ground, it kind of heals to a stump of wood that's there. And two more ribs. Stands it up in the corner.
So, I gather you're connected to the bar.
I am the bar.
I see. Fascinating. I apologize. I'll be more careful. But I do need to take these bodies out and get some sleep.
Please, get them out of me.
Yeah, for sure. And,
Ever had two dead bodies in your... No, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's been a long time since I was hungover, dude. Oh.
Okay, well, I will take delicate care of them, and tomorrow maybe we can figure out something. How does that sound?
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, just, I guess,
And
rest
get some
for now?
sleep. And he crawls back into his cupboard, and you hear the door close, and you hear glass against glass again. Tink, 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 tink.
And I go back to work
Finish your job. Yeah.
carefully.
Yep. Yes.
So, real quickly, I don't want to take too much of the time off of it, but after Baptiste and Miss Alice are done reliving old times, I'm assuming that there is a lady of the night, that there is a woman that works the facilities.
Very much so, yes.
And he'll sort of wave her over as he's walking towards the stairs up to his room.
Mm-hmm. And she sees the stole, and for a second that professional smile kind of flickers, but you see the money signs in the eyes, and she walks over.
He spends the next hour or so, and he'll pay whatever the fee is, and he's talking about that couple of years from 1850 to 1855, those first few years when he was a chaplain in the war.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's done, after about an hour and a half of storytelling, he pulls his wallet out and looks her in the eye and asks, "Young lady, do you know who I am?" And he waits to see if she does or not.
her a chance. She looks at you and says, I know exactly who you are, mister. You're the man with the wallet.
And he'll give her how much was the going rate for
the hour was 2, for the night would be 10.
He'll give her a 20 and say, if anyone should happen to ask, I'll expect that you speak of my veracity.
And she's tucking it in. She says, I could hardly walk, sir.
He goes to bed.
Okay. Anything else that evening, guys?
I'm probably way too tired. I'm probably way too tired to tinker tonight. Just
when you crash, yeah, you get back, it's the middle of the night. So that next morning, you guys are pretty much all exhausted, pretty much tired, beat up. It's been a heck of a day. And the fact that yesterday wasn't full of terror and horror just kind of gave you that come down, that crash. You guys are sitting around, just finished breakfast, and a very loud female voice reverberates into the room. Where is Alice? I am looking for Alice.
It's Anastasia!
What?
Oh, okay. That's not what Alice does. That's what I do.
Sleep,
What in
man.
the wide world of sports was that?
Go to sleep. Oh,
Well, okay,
go
so-
back to sleep.
You guys all
please.
met her, except for Baptiste. You guys all met her on the train, remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anastasia, the princess?
Oh.
Yeah, the Romanov
Very
princess.
I peek out. I'm like, oh, hello, Miss Anastasia.
Yeah, she's still, you can hear the voice. She's still out in the street for sure.
Oh, she's on the street. Okay.
Yeah. She has
You just say
simply
that at
walked
the
into the
table?
middle of town. Yeah, she has just simply walked into the middle of a town and announced that she wants to talk to Alice.
Yeah, Alice says, why, it can't be.
It probably is.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds like it is.
I'm going
Okay.
back.
And she
What?
gets up and she stands up and she she
Yeah.
takes her dress off. And
And you hear, I have vodka.
she says, Anastasia. Like she goes because if she's in the street, she goes to the door and
Yep.
Anastasia.
And you look out over the swinging doors, and they're in literally the middle of the street. If there had been people, they would have parted, because this is clearly a person who holds herself, at least, of being in great importance. She's dressed nothing like she was last time. It was all frills and lace. She is now dressed in a skin-tight leather outfit, like nice jacket, nice trousers, knee-high boots. They've all got this gray fur trim, like around. She's got the hood pulled. This is a parka, and it's the middle, like it's early spring here. She's got this hood. Her hair is all out and about, but there's a hood that she's got the big fur collar. There's fur collar around the wrists, around the top of the boots, and behind her there's a cart. There's 2 horses and a cart, and on the cart is just a tarp covering a heap of stuff. You can't even really tell what it is. And you come out and she's, darling, and just down the street coming at you.
Alice will, delicately walk down, out and down the steps towards her.
And she scoops you and lifts you and spins you around, puts you back down.
Alice says,
Miss Alice, I am
my
missing you
goodness.
so much. So much has happened.
So much has happened here also. You have no
I see you
idea.
have train.
Yeah, well, first there were tracks and there was no train, and now there's tracks and a train.
Was busy day, yes.
A very busy day.
I have had several busy days myself. I have started new business.
What's the business?
Here, I show you. And she pulls you over towards the cart. She starts undoing straps and she hurls the tarp off. And underneath the tarp, there's cold weather clothes, there's boots, there's climbing gear, there's fishing gear, there's backpacks, rope. You're not an expert and it's not very stylish, but it all looks really heavy duty. She says, I have come to Canada and met a large man who is telling me I am need to save many things, and here I am to sell them to you because they are much better than the crap you have down here.
Well, that tracks. I forgot about the whole telling her to go to Canada thing.
You told her to go.
I say, well, it does seem like Canada found you well.
Look, I have logo. And she pulls out a shirt. It's not a t-shirt because they don't really exist,
Yeah.
but it's a shirt, a lady's blouse, buttons up in the front, and it's all buttoned up so you can read the front. And it's a shield shape. And on it are 3 letters. And behind those 3 letters is a huge, bulky man with an eye patch on one eye. And the letters read AKA. As she says to you, is Anastasia's Canadian adventuring. You like?
I'm not okay.
You think that got you? I had to say it.
Kevin, I love you, Kevin. Oh my god. Oh god.
He said that with a straight face,
I
ladies
know.
and
I don't
gentlemen.
know how he did it. You took your headphones off, and I was like, I should do the same. Woo. Okay. Okay.
Let me throw one more punch here. That man in the picture, his name is Cookie, and I can never remember which eye the patch is on. So
Go home. Go home.
After you do this, after the past 2 days of hardcore.
I spent a fair amount of the last 2 days going, oh, Sarah, I'm in advance. I'm so sorry, but this has to happen this week.
Okay, okay. Alice doesn't know. I gotta woo, okay. So Alice is just gonna say, well, Cookie is an odd name.
When I first met him, he was traveling with a group of men. He was the one who makes the food at the end of the day. They all call him Cookie. I don't know if he has other name.
Oh, so he was like the cook.
Yeah,
The cookie.
he's Cookie. Yeah, he's Cookie the food. Eh?
So maybe they had Cookie and Fighty and Singy.
Surely you are just being silly.
I can't take this. Okay.
Here, vodka. And she pulls it from her hip. This is not boob vodka. This is on a hip in a flask. And
Oh,
she
she's
pulls out
upgraded.
and it's a very nice chased silver flask. It is, however, capable of holding about 24 ounces. It's big, most flasks are like 6 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
This is almost a 2-hander.
Oh goodness.
And she reaches up with her thumb and flips open the little top.
Alice will say, "Well,
Alice,
I see you have more storage space."
there is only so much room.
Well, you did seem to be doing fine before. You
Yes,
seem
but
to
this is
always
much
find
tighter.
room for the important things.
This outfit is much tighter, and she's kind of adjusting her. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm crying. I'm laughing. Sorry, I'm crying right now. Alice will take a small swig. just
This-
enough to be polite.
Yeah, and even that little bang, this is clearly homemade vodka. Like, this is probably the lady who crushed the potatoes with her feet before distilling it. This is real Russian, like, vodka.
Alice will try her best to not make a face. Probably failing a little bit.
She just looks at you and laughs and says, "It is okay, you are not Russian."
And she says, "My, that is some strong liquid.
I am going to market and sell this too.
Did you
I
make
have become
this?"
quite the capitalist. I made this, yes, with my own hands. No one else I can trust. There are no Russians here to make good vodka.
Okay. Did you even know what a capitalist was? I mean, really, before?
I
A
had
month
been
ago?
sent to marry one. I
Yeah.
read a book.
Oh, you okay? Well, that does make
You know,
sense.
it don't sound so good from the outside, but I got so much money.
Alice is like trying to, maintain composure when Anastasia says this.
Quick side question: did anybody else move to the door and watch this, or are
there
you
a
guys just all
window?
just sitting inside? Sure. For the purposes of this, if you lean back your chair, you'll be able
Yeah.
to look out the window.
Baptiste
I'll look
goes
out
if
my-
the others do, but he stays if everyone stays.
I'm looking for my bedroom window, like very tired.
Oh, you didn't even come down for breakfast? Okay.
I'm probably happier than I've ever been, but I'm exhausted from what I did
And
this
Ellie?
morning. I'm just, yep.
It was a long night.
And Ellie, you recognize the voice. Actually, yeah, you did. You were only in a box for part of the train ride. These are all intentional hints for anybody who has not seen all the episodes. This is going to force them to go back because I'm not explaining any of these callbacks. And they're going to need to go back. There's been like 4 so far tonight. They're going to have to go back and watch it all. So back out in the street.
Okay. So Alice, again, she's trying to keep her composure because in the back of her mind, she's like, well, I mean, I just lost all my money. And now she has a lot of money. So this could work out beautifully for me. And she says, "Oh, isn't it lovely?" When she
And
says, "I have a lot of money," she says, "Isn't it lovely?"
She just looks around with a big grin on her face. Like, there's just a tiny little bit of like revolutionary communist guilt left, but she was a czar, not a communist, so it's gone like that, right?
Mhm.
She grew up with money and then had it all taken away when her family was wiped
Yeah.
out. She fled. So she's, as far as she's concerned.
Oh, that's right. So I guess Alice would say, "Isn't it lovely to be back?" Is what the way she would put it.
I had no idea earning it was so rewarding. It was just given to me before.
Well, I wouldn't really know anything about that.
Oh, Miss Alice, you want job? It's so rewarding.
I think for now I'll stick with my photography and my writing. I do have a check on the way, actually, to me.
Oh, it's good. Yes, money. Yes, it's good. I have much money, but not infinite amount of money. You know anybody who is maybe, and she looks around pointedly saying, rebuilding? Maybe wants to share a building?
Well, and this might be right up your alley. How do I say? The bar was smashed by the random train.
And probably not the response you expected. She just grins.
Yeah.
A bar, you say?
Yeah, it was smashed by the train, and he's been trying to pick it up and put the pieces back together. He's literally just been picking chairs up for days. But kind of all of his employees, except for one that's with my group, is pretty much dead.
And like, it's
So he
finally
could-
registered that
Yeah.
something horrible has happened here.
Yeah.
She looks around again. You were not able to stop it.
Well, no, darling. Unfortunately, as wonderful as I am, even I cannot stop a train.
You need better equipment. She puts her hand on the side of the thing and you see the face change, and she's going into saleswoman mode.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Anastasia saleswoman. Interesting.
So who is this person I should talk to about opening up bar adventuring service?
Well, okay. His name is Charlie. He's a bit odd.
No offense, Miss Alice. Have you seen the people you hang out with?
Well,
Wait, do you
Don't
get
make
it?
that face at me, Miss Alice. I don't say you.
Alice will like
I was
Alice will
gonna
like
say
lean
that
in really
I
close.
just come down.
Alice will like lean in really close so that nobody else can hear her, and she'll say, "Well,
We're all
darling,
inside."
sometimes you have to make sacrifices to get a good story."
She just grins at you. She says, "You watch me. I am good story."
I have no doubt about that, darling.
Vodka?
No, thank you. That is a little too strong for my taste.
It's like 8 in the morning. So yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's inside.
Yep.
Lucius has just come down.
Yep.
I guess for now, Alice will point her into the direction of the bar.
Yep.
And tell her where it is. And she says, well, as things have sort of transpired over the last few days, I do have some things to take care of. But if you walk, and wherever, if you walk right down that way and around that corner, you'll see what's left of the bar. And it ain't much, darling.
And she sort of grabs the horse by the reins and sort of starts turning it around in the street and doesn't want to go, but she's Anastasia, so it goes eventually. As she's walking away, she says back over her shoulder at you, I like this town very much. Wherever I am, I can just yell and you can hear me. That
is not inaccurate. And Alice will say, what's the name of the hotel?
The hotel that you guys are staying
Paradise Hotels?
Only one standing.
Yeah, the only one standing.
Yeah.
It's funnily enough, it's called the First Saloon of Paradise. Nobody's ever asked.
Oh.
It was the first saloon in Paradise, so it's called the First Saloon of Paradise.
Okay, well, at this point, I feel like Alice
Sounds
would
like a
have,
Presbyterian church.
I feel like at this point, Alice would be comfortable enough that she would have shortened it. So she'll say, well, and I've got a room here at the First, so just come on back whenever you're done.
She's kind of waving over her shoulder at you, and you see her kind of draw a breath. You can tell when Anastasia draws a breath, and you hear her bellow down the street, Charlie! And she's around the corner and down the road.
Giving her that $100 is the best decision I ever made.
Oh no, she's back. Is she back?
Oh man.
Is she frozen or is she just really still?
I don't know.
I think she's frozen.
She's just gone on mine. Woo.
Okay, well, we will keep
these
going
are some
anyway.
good eggs.
Yeah,
Okay.
you guys are having breakfast.
So yeah, after that
Jett.
encounter, after that,
So
Alice
breakfast
will...
is the first time Jett and Baptiste have met, other than when I healed your shoulder.
Yep.
Alice will
One
walk
more
back
sentence
inside
from
whenever
Alice.
she's
Yeah.
done.
Okay, so you're just turn around and come back inside and
And I assume when she turns around, it's just she sees faces looking out.
Lucius,
looking
first
out
of all, you turn
windows.
around and Lucius is right there.
Yeah,
I haven't even had my coffee yet. Oh my god.
and she'll turn him towards the let's go. Come on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Coffee,
you get the impression
please.
this is definitely one of the people Anastasia was talking about when she was talking about the weirdos you hang out with. Yeah.
I mean, Jett's weirdness, you have to get to know him to see it.
Yep. Yeah.
Lucius
she probably she didn't react to that
That
very
is some
much.
surface level weirdness, to be fair.
Sorry, Scott.
So you just don't say a word. You just kind of turn him around and back into the building.
she just says, "Let's go. Come on."
coffee. I need coffee.
And then she, to give him a chance to make up for his transgressions, this time before they walk into the door of the saloon, she'll stop and wait for him to open the door.
Oh, is he tired enough to realize it? Shit. Okay, yeah, he will. Like, just like with a gentle side to myself. Like, okay.
So I mean, it's swinging doors. So you go through, you hear them go ka-dunk, ka-dunk, ka-dunk behind you, and a little thought tickles in your head. Wait, oh shit! And you kind of reach back and grab it and pull it open just in time for her to make her entrance.
Good. And she'll of course respectfully, why, thank you, sir. But in the back of her mind, she's like, about damn time.
In my mind, I'm like, oh my god, this is the whole reason why I left this life of aristocrats.
And while that all happened outside, the other three of you are sitting around having breakfast because I can see that Hannah's back. So the three of you are sitting around inside, just finishing up your breakfast. As was pointed out, this is the first real time that Jett and Baptiste have been face to face when there wasn't a live action emergency going on, shall we say.
It's the first time we've actually been together.
Also, I will point out the last time you saw Jett, his left arm was out of the socket, covered in burnt gravel as he was dragging himself up the street, and he is now untouched.
But Baptiste thinks that that's because of him.
Yep. That is that's an absolutely fair assumption.
And I am chipper. I look real tired, but I'm pretty damn chipper this morning.
All right. Fantastic.
I don't know.
Three of you are sitting around at breakfast. Yeah.
I guess I peer out the window and I'm like, well, I guess making friends pays off sometimes.
Lost her again. Oh, she's back.
I assume that's before I'm back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is
that was like as
conversation
you were doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there eating. I'm just trying
Just eating these eggs.
I'm just bacon and eggs and a glass of milk.
Mostly coffee for me, which is
And at around this time, Jeb Early, the groundskeeper at the cemetery, and Father or Pastor Dean, the huge behemoth of a preacher who doesn't seem to have any what you would call real preaching skills. This man probably made it through the seminary, but he doesn't have the touch. They show up looking for, in particular, as they step in, they look at Baptiste and Lucius. And it's actually the Padre that speaks, is, we got 29 of them today. Could use a little help.
Absolutely. So let me finish my coffee. I'll be right there.
Baptiste, it is still 2 days too early.
Okay. Baptiste will start to wave him over.
Mm-hmm.
Me?
No,
sorry.
to the two that walked in.
Okay.
And the pastor is looking around, and he's looking for something, but he's looking for something on the table that you guys just finished breakfast on. But whatever it was, he doesn't seem to find it.
Okay.
He's back up at you guys.
Do I get any idea of what it might be from a professional sense, or?
Give me a streetwise check.
Oh, that's gonna be real good. So if there's no score in it,
you roll one smarts die, whatever your smarts die is. Roll one of those and subtract
-4. All right.
And historically, this hasn't gone well for people in the past.
That is a 1 -4.
That -4. That is -3. Yeah, you have no clue. Actually, you watch his eyes for a second, and is he looking for scraps? Like a bit of bacon or something that somebody didn't eat?
Oh, Jesus.
Just out of character, that's not correct, but that's what you think you see because you rolled a
that's what I
-3.
think it is. Baptiste will actually like catch the eye of the bartender or whatever and just sort of point at the pastor and just sort of
And he nods at you and goes behind the bar for a second. It's only a couple seconds, which is, that's, you asked for food, and this is like 2 seconds later, he steps up from behind the bar with a glass about 3 fingers of whiskey in it, and he hands it to the Padre, and his hand is shaking when he takes it.
That's fair. So Baptiste, what's the pastor's name again? Baptiste
Pastor
knows.
Dean.
Ryan forgets.
Yeah,
Pastor
no
Dean.
problem. I had to look it up before tonight. So
Yeah, so Baptiste will say, Pastor Dean, while I am sure all of us will find it to be one of our Lord and Savior's own miracles that the chair does hold your immense personage, why don't you have a seat and explain to me why we'll be burying them 2 days early? Also, I'll find my accent, which is a little all over the place tonight.
I will never hold you accountable for your accent. I can't keep the same accent for more than 3 sentences in a row. So
It's fine. I've been Jobetta for 2 days, so
No, I'm a little more Alabama. He's usually Savannah. I'll get there. Don't at me, bro.
We got 2 memes now. We created a new one last night. Actually, somebody you know quite well is now Daggerfail Girl.
I was at rehearsal for that one.
Yeah, you got to watch that bit. That was good fun. But back to this.
Yeah, and he just gives him quite literally the stare. I can roll that if you need it.
Yeah, he's already not doing well and drinking to get rid of it. But yeah, go ahead just to see how bad it gets.
Sure.
I mean, you took it. I should let you roll it.
That's 4 plus a 2.
Ryan's like, please let me roll dice.
Hey, no, I'm happy to get a gimme. Let's do 4. I think I made it.
Yeah.
22. That's a couple of raises. Does he shit himself?
Yeah,
he about half misses the chair. The thing is, you get the impression as you're speaking that he only got about half those words. Like, some of those bigger words just went right over him, seminary school or not. And yeah, when he sat down, it was sort of one cheek in the chair and almost the whole chair tilted up. And he almost did break it. And then he sort of stands back up and is, I'll stand. But he's now like 3 steps back from the table.
All right, so then he'll take Baptiste takes that couple of seconds and recognizes it and just looks him dead in the eye. Why 2 days early, Batman? And he'll sit back and you see the butt of the grips of the 2 pistols.
And he finishes the whiskey and clatters the glass to the table. We don't want them dancing again. They stopped. They did stop. We looked this morning. They're stopped. There's no banging.
What dancing?
You saw it yesterday. Well, we put them all in the mouth. They were bouncing, jerking. Can't have the people seeing that.
What? What did I miss? Where have I been?
Yeah, the only
Actually,
people that make sense to is Baptiste and Lucius.
Okay, so we are back at this point.
Yeah, you guys are
Okay,
walking
all right.
into this part of the conversation.
Yeah, then Alice is right there with Jett, like, what in the world are you talking about?
Whenever, just as a matter of flavor, whenever Ellie and Alice do come in, even if it's in the middle of intimidating someone,
Oh yeah,
Baptiste stands and pulls
Yeah.
the chairs out.
absolutely. Yep.
I thought this was explained during dinner time last night. Well, except to Jett, of course.
Yep, still in the dark, partner.
I do think Baptiste explained it to everyone except for Jett with Lucius's help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, every
But
time
yeah,
you put them in
these
the shade, they started to do stuff.
I'll explain it to Jett, like, privately, just like, while they have their conversation.
So yeah,
Part of the 3-day ritual, Friar, is to help these types of things from happening. Where exactly did you get the idea to forego all rites and formalities? I doubt that idea sprang from your own brain.
he is so flustered. It's not even. It is blatantly obvious.
And-
Not just his
Yeah,
eyes
Baptiste
twitch.
is just like
His whole head just
He's-
looks at Jeb.
waves over a bottle to hand to him to calm the guy down.
Yeah, and his head just snaps over and looks at Jeb and looks back at you. Doesn't say a word.
At Jeb?
Yeah.
Baptiste at this point then will say, Mr. Jeb, not only are you rude, but it does seem you've been withholding information. And he sets a revolver down on the table. I would like you to explain.
Can I also just stare at Jeb as well, because I really don't like him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's you guys have now both turned. I mean, two of the darkest, scariest individuals this town has ever seen.
And if
Are now
anybody
staring
wants
him
to
down.
notice the revolver, the metal scrolling is slightly blue, and there's a blue vaporous smoke that comes off of the detailed work.
He literally has a
And
smoking gun.
Because you set it on the table, the name that's on the bottom of the grip, right?
Yeah, so whoever's on that side of the table can see it. That revolver's name is Sermon.
And Jeb is just, I mean, he's just sweating bullets.
Yeah, Alice. I'll say this.
It's
Alice,
about to be.
This whole time is trying to look at every detail she can on Baptiste, because after she saw the little glint of that badge, she's trying to figure out who the hell this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to pay attention to all the other nonsense, but mostly she's just like trying to, subtly as she can, be an investigative journalist,
Okay.
basically.
And Kevin,
Get back to you in
just
just 1 minute. Yep.
and one last thing. I'm sorry. I know I keep
Oh, no.
interrupting.
No, I'm
If
about to get
at
back to you.
any point Jeb's physicality looks like he's gonna rabbit,
Yep.
I would like to know.
Well, and I don't want to. As soon as that pistol comes out on the table, my demeanor changes, and I straighten up a little bit, and I'm like, "Whoa, now! I don't know what you fellas have been doing, but is this really necessary? I mean, that's a little."
Baptiste does not look at Jett and just says,
Yeah, and
Hush.
it's like you're not talking to these two.
might-
'Cause they're just locked. And Jeb says, Yeah.
I'd probably say to Jet, it's like, Jet, stay out of this. This is about our profession, and to insult what these two do to our profession and to the dead.
in a very low, quiet voice. Sorry, go ahead, Jet.
Oh no, I was just gonna turn to him and be like, I get that, but like, and I kind of pull out my badge a little bit, and I'm like, but I still have to make sure we don't have any more bodies to put in the ground. We kind of had enough of that lately. But I still watch them for a second. I'm watching for movement too.
And Jeb looks back, or his eyes never left you, Baptiste, and he says, I just wanted the problem gone.
That's not how you
I'm
solve
not
the
a-
problem.
I'm not a priest. I live out there, man. It was scary.
do I believe him?
Give me a streetwise, sure.
Great. Yep. This is gonna
I
go
know,
well.
twice, eh? Yeah.
I will
This
also
is going to
do
go
a-
really well.
May I also do a streetwise?
Yep, if you like. I mean, it's not going to be a very difficult DC here because he's pretty easy to read, but holy crap, look at you go.
Where is my streetwise? What the
So
heck?
that's a 3. That works.
It's probably
Yeah.
good because if it was a 1, I think Kevin, what was about to happen.
Oh yeah, somebody was about to get shot, and that's a okay. You both get the very strong impression that he is telling the truth about this, but there's something else. Especially a certain lawman would see that there is something else that he's not talking about.
So the hand that's on the pistol that's laying on the table, and however anybody wants to react, there is a click sound, but it's the click of letting the hammer down.
Yeah.
But the pistol stays on the table, but it's no longer cocked.
And I would know that because that's one of the few things I'm an expert.
He has de-escalated. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of relaxed a little bit.
So for Jett, this is a single action. This one's meant to spray and pray.
Yeah, I don't even know if I mentioned that. I don't know if you read that part. This is the one with the reason why you take a single action revolver is because you can fan the hammer.
Fan the hammer.
And yeah, it's just so
it hits as many people as possible. That's why it's called sermon. He ain't he's no dummy.
Oh man, this is what happens when you let actors write their own backstories.
It's an MFA, goddammit.
So
love you guys
what
so
you
much.
notice is Jeb is utterly defeated at this point. He's very, very slowly, his hands come up. He's not quite he's not surrendering, but he's surrendering the conversation. I'll let you folks that know better than me decide. I was just trying to get this town over it. And he kind of looks at the father like, combination of you bastard, you ratted me out, and why didn't you tell me this, right?
For the first time, Baptiste actually looks to Jett and says, and he's just guessing, of course, but looks at Jett and says, "Deputy, my apologies. After you." And holsters the gun.
Well,
Miss Alice,
Yeah.
you're racking your brain.
Yeah, I've been like, anytime he like moves or like,
Oh, don't swear yet. Don't swear yet.
anytime he like moves or like, like does anything that might open that coat or any,
It's not that. It's when he reaches out to uncock that pistol. You just get an image in your head. There's no faces. It's just dusty. It's a street. There's two groups of men and a hail of gunfire. And then it's gone.
do I
You're not
know?
even sure it's him.
Yeah, I was
You're
just
not
saying,
even sure. It's just that's the image that flashed in your head when you saw that gun getting uncocked.
So just a
He was there.
Nothing
Gun-
in that image. Yeah, there's nothing in that image. There was no stole. There was no anything. It's just that's the flash of
Just
of
a
image that you
gunfight
got.
in
Just
the
a
middle
gunfight
of
in the
the
middle of a
street.
street, which not that uncommon,
well, and also Alice
especially because
literally
you've seen
just
that
saw
he's got
one.
a badge, right? You
Well,
don't know
yeah,
what the
well,
badge
Alice
is, but you know
just
he's
saw a literal gunfight in the middle of the street too. So
Yeah,
it's,
yeah. Maybe it's just that.
maybe it's some kind of like confusion.
Maybe that asshole in the bar is actually magic. Who knows?
I do want to so where's the gun holstered? Is it on this? Like,
So this holster, he actually has to pull the duster up a little bit. And it's almost the small of his back. So this is a third pistol.
can I do some kind of check to see if there's any glint when he pulls it up? If there's any
Oh God,
glimpse
please
of-
do. Like, I don't want you to win it, but also that would be amazing.
I want to know. Alice is so like.
And Baptiste isn't trying to hide anything because he's too focused on this idiot.
Yep.
Yeah, and and Alice knows that.
So, Miss Alice, give me a scrutinize.
Sure, as soon as I can find it. Oh!
As he throws back the There's still a chance. There's still a chance.
No.
As he throws
Fine.
back the duster, you
That's
see for a
amazing.
moment that vest opens up, and there's that badge again. And it's old, and it's gray, and it's worn out, and there's a dent in it where a bullet's bounced off of it. And you see the first 2 letters
Damn it.
of a word. And what are those first 2 letters?
Well, she knows it says Arizona across the top,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and where the name should be. Let me double check that I know the spelling, because I'm a real bad speller. Stay in school, kids.
That's
Oh
really
my-
funny that you actually pronounced school wrong when you said that the first time. That
School.
was
Yeah. You see across the center where the person's name goes, you see a W and a Y.
Wide Earp. He's Wide Earp, damn it. Okay. If that's actually what it is, I'm gonna cry. I know it's not, but okay. W and a Y. So it says Arizona and then WY. That was, oh man, that roll. That's amazing.
That was amazing. Congrats! Like I ain't even mad.
And she's gonna keep, because she's like with Jett, she knows, you know, a little bit, and she knows about the nightmares and stuff. And with everybody else, like she's been with them a little longer, so it's not. This guy came the frick out of
Ryan,
nowhere.
you gave me so much backstory. I just gave away a little bit of it.
I know. Well, and all of she's from the same region of the South.
Yeah, because
If anybody
and
had a
she's
chance,
like
right?
she's like
mean,
I know
you guys
him.
have
I've
now
been,
an established back. Yeah, you've been in
yeah,
the same
she's like
room
I've been
before.
to a party
so,
with
yeah.
this guy. They convinced some dude to ride a freaking pig, and like, like, who is
Back in
this
his
guy?
younger
He thought it
crazier
was a
days.
Shetland pony.
That blue dress.
This all happened in like 2 seconds over
Just
breakfast.
Just in that length of time that it took for that pistol to come out and go back.
Okay.
Miss Ellie, it looks like we're stable again. Are we? You're moving.
I hope so.
Okay, I can
Yep.
hear
My
So,
computer
I don't know how much
decided
of this
now's a
you
good
mi-
time to have a medical.
you. So, real quick, I don't know how much you missed. There was a borderline gun confrontation at a breakfast table. Anastasia is back. And you are sitting there at the table with Jett and Baptiste, who has just told off to the local undertaker, well, no, gravedigger and the local priest. And yeah, like I said, there was just a gun on the table just a second ago, and it's just been uncaught.
I think he just put it away too, didn't he?
It's still, is it still on the table?
No, he put it. I think.
No, he after the Undertaker said, "I'm an idiot. I don't know what's going on."
Right.
He reholstered it, and in that leaning forward, that's when she saw
That's
the
when she
first
saw
two
it.
letters.
Perfect. Cool.
And at this point, I'd look around at everybody, and I'm like, I know I was asleep for a while, and I needed it. As you can tell, I'm, back. But what in the hell is going on? I need somebody to fill me in.
Did I privately tell you, Jett, about the
You
dead
t-
part?
You told me that, but I want to know why y'all are upset with them, and what's this multiple day thing? Because I'm not religious, so what are we doing?
You
What's-
would at least know it's standard policy that it's 3 days after someone dies that they're buried.
Why? That's the important bit.
I think
That is-
Skylar's asking.
Oh, it's to make sure they're actually dead. Historically, it's to give them 3 days to come back if they're just really sick. They also used to do things like put pins in their toes and in their fingers.
Which I probably have pins actually in my kit.
This would have been done at this time. Yeah, you checked that they were dead by causing the body what would be extreme pain, which would cause them to twitch, and if they didn't twitch, they were dead.
Oh, I'm so uncomfy.
Well, now they pump all your juices out and pump some green stuff in, so they really know you're dead. There's no reason to wait 3 days anymore. But
Well, and the doctor has pronounced all of these people dead, like the doctor.
Yep.
I guess in my mind, I'm going to be like, I get it, procedure, but I trust that doctor more than anyone in this town, hardly. I need to know why. I mean, why are they moving? What do we need to do to get this fixed? Because I don't want them coming back to town. I'm not saying they're right, but they got a point. And I look between Lucius and Baptiste, not in a like, just more in a like, there's got to be something we could do.
Well, the proper rites should be observed for 3 days, but after that, what are the reasons why we have collected a multitude of these past people, meaning people who have passed beyond, into one of the larger mausoleums? Is it may be that over the course of the next few hours we could perform a certain rite, a ritual, if you will, in order to help shuffle off this mortal coil in a way that apparently they haven't figured out themselves. Though it will take some doing and some protecting and a little bit of preparation. Not to mention quite a bit of, well, it makes me rather fucking hungry, ladies, if you'll excuse the language. And it gets quite cold.
Alice, under her breath, says, "Well, now who's acting below the station?" just the most.
I want to roll it. I want to hear it.
Roll it.
Yep.
What is it? What is it?
Give me a. What's that going to be? Give me
It's probably a really bad. I'm not good at. I can shoot. I can't do anything else.
I've been waiting so long. She's been waiting.
I'm not going to make you roll streetwise 3 times in a row. Do a scrutinize instead, just to see if you can read her face.
Scrutinize. What's scrutinize under? I'm so sorry. All right,
right
1d6.
Yeah.
It is the great equalizer. 1d6. If this explodes.
I kind of hope it does. Honestly, it did.
Yeah, the turnabout is fair play. She saw the first 2 letters. You heard what she just said.
In the tiniest little bit, he hears you say that, and he makes eye contact clearly and just real quickly goes, "Touche, ma'am," and then finishes the rest of.
And Alice just like in the
Miss
second
Alice,
that,
you were right.
in the second that he like says touche and kind of does this, Alice does the exact same kind of, the kind
You're
of.
right.
And,
I've been wrong in the past, and I will be wrong in the days to come.
And Jeb leans forward and says,
Alice, just with the biggest smile on her face, starts just eating and breakfast, and
and
she's so
Jeb
happy.
is slightly emboldened because nobody's staring him down anymore. Like he's blurted his truth and nobody's killed him. So he kind of leans in a little bit and says, particularly to Baptiste and Lucius, he says, "I mentioned it before, but they ain't kicking and banging this morning.
What changed?
The mausoleum's quiet. I ain't opening that door."
Father Baptiste, do you think
Well, he's
we should
quiet
investigate?
even though the doors have remained shut and there's no windows. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. No windows?
There are not any, no. You remember from yesterday, you guys, this is a sealed mausoleum, and as soon as you guys closed the doors, you heard the banging inside, particularly against the metal door. So it was quite obvious that they had started dancing in the dark again. Oh, 80s musical reference. That was terrible.
Alice, of course,
but according to Jeb, they've stopped.
ever the logical one, Alice will say, well, maybe, is that place you put them in airtight?
It is
Not so much, man.
I doubt it, but I do appreciate the scientific mind, Miss O'Hare.
I was just going to say, is it possible that because they're no longer directly exposed to the ghost rock in the air, that has some sort of effect?
all things are possible under his creation. But Mr. Lucius, perhaps our party should make our ways there.
Yes, I was just going to say I think we should investigate that. Very peculiar. Like, it's Early, right? Jed Early, his name.
Yep, Jeb.
Mr. Jeb.
Because if you're going to play a Western game based on stereotypes, damn it, go for
Jeb.
it.
Mr. Early, how long have you known for them to just jitter around? How long have you seen them do that? The longest you've seen someone do that?
I never seen it before yesterday.
So,
While this conversation,
I've been putting people in the ground for years, and them's the only ones that danced.
but how long have you seen them do that? Like just like a couple days, or it's just the first time we've kind of just let them, like, you know?
It just happened yesterday, sir.
See, okay, so no one's ever experimented to see how long they dance in the dark, really.
Make a streetwise check for me, please.
while this conversation has been going on, like as soon as Baptiste finished his spiel, I was already picking up my bag and putting it on my back, and I looked at it. I was like, "You had me at ritual. I got to go pick up a few things, and then you've got my help."
And I don't really want to break this up with a shopping episode, so the stuff you want, you know the prices, pick them up. You already had it, so yeah.
The only thing I want to know when we get the chance, when we all leave, because we all had something there, is the blacksmith. Everything else, I know what I got.
That's a 2.
Yeah, you guys will get your you got ghost steel ammunition waiting for you, so
Yeah.
okay. All you get from Jeb is just a look of embarrassment and shame. And nobody experiments, sir. We just
Buried them.
not
Without-
yet, sir. We just put them in the mausoleum.
Mhm.
You were there, sir. Did you not get much of a good night's sleep, sir?
I meant.
I'm sorry.
What I meant. Calm down. What I meant was before we came into town. You just buried them, basically.
Nobody did this before you came into. Not saying it's your fault. Not like he's just panicked now that anything he says is going to get him shot.
Mhm.
No, it never happened before, sir. Just after the hell train, sir.
Right. All right then. Well, I guess we'll.
And just a quick bit of information, because you guys would know this. All of these people were either the cultists that were pulled into the train, or the people that were killed by the creatures that took over the cultists in town. So that is the one thing they've all got in common.
Oh, okay. That's
So
interesting.
as a quick piece of clarification, I'm so sorry. Last session or 2 sessions ago, when we were in the graveyard for the first time, it seemed as though Jeb knew that these people were coming back to life and dancing, as he put it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he showed you by dragging one into the shade.
So there was some sort of dancing corpses before the events of the last 48 hours.
If I gave that impression, it was mistaken. What I was intending to convey is that while preparing them to be preparing them for burial, he had just dragged one into the shadows and left it for a second, just as you pile them up and such. And one of them was in the shadows and started moving. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
And maybe
So,
that was
there is-
was just me. But
no. Apparently, both of you had the same idea, so that means it was me.
Okay.
But yeah, to clarify, no, this has never happened before. He discovered it yesterday while moving them around.
So as far as everyone in town is concerned, at least as far as we know, dancing corpses is new within the last 12 hours.
Okay.
Yes, and as far as everyone knows, very few people know.
Got it. Thank you.
Just there's about half a dozen people that were out there building coffins, and Jeb.
Okay.
Okay. So that
They and
makes
Maxima
sense.
Copa.
So I guess you, Ryan, and I, we've kind of like come to the conclusion anything supernatural that kind of touched them has kind of made them twitch, in a sense. Okay.
Miss Ellie, you've been real quiet. They're talking about ghosts and such.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about ghosts, so I've just kind of been eating my food quietly.
Mm-hmm. Sort of popping in and out of the conversation, sort of.
Yeah, sort of just listening and trying to not have my head explode.
By the way, you've had another day with the doctor, and you feel like by tomorrow you'll be able to take that splint off and walk.
Okay, cool. Do I still have a wound to the gut?
No, she fixed that up.
Sweet.
Mechanically speaking, you don't have any wounds. It's just right now your one leg, the one that was shattered, it's been magically healed because that's what she can do. But it is still weak. So it's going to take sort of one more day to get the muscles working again. So you're going to have to use crutches for one more day, but you're not technically wounded.
And the one that got the train run over it, it's okay?
That one is, there's a
You
scar.
said that one hurt more.
Yeah, it hurt more because if you ever peeled the skin, like it's not just a cut, but when especially a shin, they're bad for it. You go under something and it just takes a whole strip off. Yeah, it hurts because it's a whole bunch of nerve endings that got set off at once. That's what you've got. You've got the other leg is just completely covered in this big scab, and it's getting itchy because it's healing as well.
Okay.
So you're maybe trying to get a scratch in underneath your, through your pants or above your boot, get a little itch in there now and then. But other than that, you feel like you'll be able to walk properly tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
So with that, Jeb and the Pastor Dean look at you, and they very clearly look at Baptiste for permission to leave. We should probably get up there and start at least putting them in boxes, sir.
If y'all don't understand the side of provisions that I'm gonna need you to bring, please, gentlemen, don't disappoint me again.
And the father pulls out a little book, like a little leather-bound book, and this little stub of a pencil, and he flips it open, flips in pages and pages and pages, and finally gets to a blank page, and you see him, and then this sort of realization crosses his face, and he hands it over to Jeb to write down because he can't read and write. So Jeb is standing there waiting to take your dictation for what you need up there. You don't have to be specific.
I ramble off the necessary items.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the time.
Yeah, not a problem.
From real gameplay.
Yeah.
I say appropriate things.
Yes.
And just before Jed leaves, I go, "Oh, Mr. Early, perhaps later on we can have a conversation on manners and how we treat certain things. A little lesson, perhaps. Just you and me."
If I might be so bold, sir, how about I just dig the holes and you do all the other stuff?
That could work. Have a nice
I'm
day.
so sorry.
Lucius has got a job.
Lucius, what was your last name again? I do apologize.
Did I not tell you?
You might have. I was not remembering in character.
Yeah.
It was Glory.
Glory. Jeb, that's Mr. Glory when you refer to him.
Yes, sir. I'll get this.
To him. Mr. Glory. You can do it.
Yes, Mr. Glory. And he's
Good-
just
good
backing
boy.
up out of the door with his
That's a
little.
good boy. Go on now.
And there's just
Go on.
a split second of hatred, and then he remembers that you are armed past the teeth, and he just and out the door. The father right behind him, looking like a huge hulking shadow.
As soon as they're gone to Lucius, I turn around and go, I like him.
Now I'm even more confused because now I really like him, and I'm like, and I'm really scared of him. Oh,
And on that,
As soon as they're
confusing and
gone, his
wonderful
shoulders relax. Everything.
All right, and with that, we will take a quick and momentary break, and we will maybe, if we are very lucky, we will get this game beyond the breakfast table before we finish tonight.
Maybe.
Well, you know what they say.
I'm not counting on it.
Ooh. Well, you can't start a fire without a spark. And I reckon at least a few of them guns are for hire. You all know what I'm getting at here. They're
Oh,
just dancing
Marty.
in the dark. We'll be back.
Oh my God! What?
There's the button. There's the button. I need to press to do that. There, you just came just back in time. Kevin's about to give us a little lesson about how these here chips work for any of y'all who missed that in the first episode. So let's check it on out.
So yes, there was a question during the break, and we figured we'd probably best answer this in front of everybody so we all know what we're doing when we're saying we're burning chips to do stuff. At the start of every single episode, I say to these guys, draw 3 chips, and they draw 3 chips, and then I say, have you put them on your sheet? And they say yes, and then I make the chips go away, and we never talk about them again. So we're going to fix that. It's a really interesting mechanic in this game because these chips essentially are what you get paid in, but you can spend it several different ways. First of all, there's 3 kinds of chips: white, red, and blue in that ascending order. So when they draw their 3 from the deck at the start of every game, they could get any combination of those. What they can do is they can use them in game, although they haven't really much so far because I haven't been shooting them very often, but we'll change that. So in game, what they can be used for is to negate wounds as they happen. So if I shoot you and you say, or I say you take 3 wounds to the leg, you can burn a white chip and remove 1 of those and say, no, I only take 2. You can burn a red chip, destroy 2 of those wounds and say, I only take 1. Or if you're really pushing it, you can burn a blue chip and say, no, I'm not taking 3 wounds. There is a price for that middle one, though, that red chip. If you use a red chip, I, the narrator, the guy who plays the bad guys, gets to draw a chip for them. And those are going to get used in-game in a different way, which you guys can do as well. You can burn a white chip to roll 1 extra die for that white chip and add it to your current roll. With a red chip, you can roll a bonus die and add it. Let me correct that. I got it wrong, and it's right in front of me, and I can't even read. A white chip, you get 1 extra die to roll. So if you had 4 d10s to roll for a skill, and you rolled those 4 d10s and you missed, you can burn a white die to add another d10 to roll to see what happens. For the red chip, which I do get 1 for, that part I got right, you can actually roll a bonus die and add it to your current highest roll. So instead of just rolling another d12, you would roll another d12 and add it to whatever your current highest roll is. And these ones explode too. So this is how you end up rolling 62 on a 12-sided die. And the blue chips. These are the rarest ones in the deck. They're the least common. They work just like red chips as far as rolling bonus dice goes. But I don't get a die when you use one. The other thing you can do with chips is if you don't burn them in game, if I haven't shot you and you haven't had to prevent wounds and you haven't had to re-roll or add to anything, you can then use them between sessions. You can spend them in various quantities to improve your traits and attributes to make yourself a better player. So it is kind of an interesting mechanic because the more you save your life, the less you advance. But the more you advance, the less likely you are to be able to save your own life. So with that, you can kind of see how we're being pretty thematically consistent in the way we're playing this game. Life is cheap and can be replaced by poker chips is what the lesson you should all be taking home is. And with that, let's go back to this. It's almost a brunch table now. Miss Anastasia has headed down the road to go and find Charlie to start to rebuild the bar, which is about to become the bar of some unknown name as of yet. And the Anastasia's Canadian Adventuring Company. Leaving you guys again, you have put your foot down. Those of you who know the bits, the rules, and the regulations have absolutely put your foot down about the treatment of the dead in this town. And as such, things are being returned to their proper and orderly fashion. You can hear outside somebody nailing a signage to a post announcing that the funerals will take place in 2 days' time, as they should. Madmaker in chat, you hush. We're not doing that yet.
I was actually hoping to, if they're just kind of chatting magic-y stuff, I was actually going to go after Jett, because I haven't had a chance to see him since I watched him get thrown across the town.
Yep, and when he came in this morning, he did that Jett thing again, where you're still limping, and he looks perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Jett, you said you wanted to do some shopping.
Yeah, I just ran real quick. I would have run to the sheriff's office, picked up my dynamite with my name on it, and I would have gone over and to the mercantile and picked up another revolving shotgun.
It's in the fridge with the sheriff's lunch. The lunch says sheriff, the dynamite says Jett.
and after I do that, I mean, if Ellie and I talk or whatever, but other than that, I'm going to go back and get the others before I go to the blacksmith, because I know they all have stuff there too. So,
as you head out the door with this plan, Ellie follows you out.
Limping very slowly.
Yeah.
Oh, howdy. Are you... My lord, I forgot that... Are you okay? I've been asleep so long, I forgot that... I'm so sorry.
It's fine. The doctor is very good at what she does. I was going to ask the same of you. You were in rough shape last I saw you, but you're significantly better than almost anybody in this town is now.
And
he's not even dirty.
He's just grinning.
Yeah.
He's just looking like, are you still... I see your limp, and do you think that if someone could help, it would make that go away? Because there's a small chance I might know how to fix that.
Oh, well, I mean, the doctor already did her doctoring. She presumed it'll be at least manageable to walk on tomorrow. Bearable, at least.
I think I could do you one better. And I tell her to follow me to the sheriff's office before... I'm not going to do this in the street as much as I want to. So when we get there...
With that cryptic statement, do you follow him?
Yeah, I trust Jett. I'll follow him.
So you definitely get there second, because you're on crutches up those couple of stairs, because this is those typical Western town, right? The dirt street, and then the wooden sidewalks that are sort of up on little sort of 6-inch pillars. So it's a couple steps up to that wooden sidewalk, and then the buildings are flush with that.
All right.
Jett, good sir, did you stand and hold the door for her, or did you just leave it open, or?
I was real excited, so I was running, but I'm sure I would have made sure I held the door, or made sure she got inside, make sure she doesn't fall over the
And you come in, and the first thing you always ask me is there anybody in here, so I'll just save you the trouble. There's nobody in the drunk tank, and the sheriff is not here.
All right. So now, all right, you got to help me, Kevin, because I've read it, but I'm still...
Go get your TNT first, yeah.
Yep, got my TNT, and then I sit down with her, hopefully. I'll be like, take a seat, and I'll be like, I've got a story to tell first.
Did you learn medicine while you were sleeping? I thought that was Lucius's field, somewhat.
So you know how that thing happened in the mines, and I was just magically okay, and we were like, I don't know why, and I was like, I don't know why. Nobody really knew why.
I could not forget that if I tried.
I met a lady who was also a raven, and I know this sounds weird, but you gotta believe me, because look, my arm is fine. I'm not crazy. This isn't convincing. Give me a second. And so I'm gonna be like, this is gonna look alarming, but I promise it'll help. I may have to put my hand on your leg, though. Is that okay with you?
What are you planning on doing?
I think I can heal it. Maybe.
Heal it. How? You have no medical supplies.
And I whisper, I'm like, magic.
And with that, I want to point out, Miss Ellie, you are all alone in an empty building
Yeah.
with the crazy man who just said he can heal you, but he has to touch you to do it.
Yeah.
I know this is.
I'm gonna my hand's gonna kind of go to my pistol and I'm gonna start standing up. Just be like, Jett, listen, I know we've all had a rough couple days. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep, but whatever your plan, I think I can just trust the doctor. Thank you.
Both crutches under one arm, backing out with your other hand on the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. I really wanted to help you, but all right. Maybe you'll see me do it some other time.
And as she backs out and the door closes, Jett, in your head, you hear a increasingly familiar voice, but she's not speaking. She's just laughing.
Yeah, real funny. And I just walk out and I'm off to go buy my gun or whatever.
Could I, Mina, I just want to quickly buy a shovel. Just
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna. I don't want to do a shopping episode right now.
No,
So
I'm
yeah,
just
anything you
grabbing a
guys
shovel.
want to the blacksmith in particular, I will give you. Each of you gets for now, because it's the first batch, 10 rounds of ghost steel ammunition
Not
for each type of weapon. No, you unfortunately you weren't part of the order. You weren't there when the order was made. So, well, I guess technically then we'd have 40 pieces of pistol ammunition, 40 pieces of rifle ammunition, and she couldn't do shotgun. So.
She couldn't do shotgun.
No, she couldn't make it that small.
Was she able to make just a bunch of spare pieces that I've been thinking of using in the future?
There's all kinds of chunks and bits. Yeah, she let you guys go on the promise that you made to bring her ghost steel. She's had some other locals haul a chunk over, so there's a bunch of bits and pieces of it laying around. Yeah, plenty for your plans. So
And
you
did
can
I
gather up
get-
some bits?
Did I get my badge?
Oh, you wanted a badge done in ghost steel? Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Of course you can. Of course you can have a slightly toxic badge. Sure.
Do I have a couple shovel-shaped
What does it say
daggers?
on it?
I just was asking for a plain star. I don't need anything. I just want to have it look just like regular
Does
plain
it say paradise on it? Or nope, just a
I'll leave
straight
that
up-
to her because I didn't say anything. So if she took some artistic, liberty with it, I'll do it. But I wasn't
it would
asking.
be the
for-
territory
So if it says paradise, then
historically.
Mm-hmm. So when you pick that, you do pick that up. She's got it ready for you, and it's in a little metal box. She's actually made a little presentation box for it, and it's filled. The box is filled with black sand, and in it is sitting this very simple 5-pointed star. On the end of each point, there's a little circle, like there is on a lot of them, and across the wide part, it says Oklahoma.
All right. And I just pin that sucker on.
You now have 3.
Yep. I usually switch them out, but I'll say I have 2 of them, like maybe on the inside or on some other flap or whatever. But
Right,
that's
because we had you wearing them as pasties several weeks ago. I remember. Now.
That is historically accurate. As the American professor in the group, that is historically accurate. You would have switched them out depending on the territory you were in.
Yep.
That is so cool. Sorry, I'm geeking out. Back.
No,
back
that's
to
all
you.
fine.
Back to you. My bad.
Yeah, no problem at all. I just couldn't figure out whether I only wanted to give them the town or whether I wanted to give them the whole state. And I thought, what the hell?
Was a
whole
sheriff, you would
state.
have been the entire state or territory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are a couple of my
So I guess you just got promoted.
Apparently, I
Blacksmith.
was just a random man, marshaled a couple of places. Here we are.
Well, if you remember, you did some favors for this lady. So
Oh yeah, I did. All right, got that now.
so yeah, that ammunition is there to split up as you wish. I'm not going to worry about caliber and all that foolishness. So yeah, between the whole group, you got a shovel, 40 rounds of pistol ammunition, 40 rounds of rifle ammunition.
Any
And
of
a
my
bandage.
my shovel-shaped daggers? I think I asked for just a couple.
Yeah, some small pieces. Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of that laying around. So on your wish list, you can scratch off all those bits that say ghost steel.
Oh, excellent. Can I give her a list, a private list for other projects?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
So I'll just give her that. It's like, if you don't mind, keep this one a bit of a secret, if you don't mind. I'd really appreciate that.
And she just tucks it into her overalls.
Thank you very much.
It goes back to the one thing, I guess, I don't know if either one of you have met her before, Genevieve, or sorry, no, you haven't met her before, Lucius. She is a tiny little woman. She's like 5'4", very slender, very small. She's wearing clothing that looks like men's clothing, but it's been built for her size.
Oh, I met her.
Did you? And she,
Yeah, I did.
she's
We
running
had a
12-pound. Yeah.
I was discussing
she's running
about-
a 12-pound sledgehammer with one hand. Is the big deal. So
We
yeah.
were discussing about different masks, and I was asking if I could maybe modify them for her in the future.
Right.
So,
right.
I do want to
you
actually
know her.
talk to her more later in the future.
So yes, with the shopping done, anything else anybody wants to do?
Shoot
just
something.
because we're going to, or the plan currently is to go to the graveyard, right?
I do want to talk to Father Baptista and Ellie quickly, just if they're the same area.
You guys are all sort of, yeah, the three of you, once you get back. Yeah, I mean, you're at this point, you're loading up the cart, and you've got a couple of bodies that need to go out there. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're
Okay.
taking your
I
cart.
wanted to talk to you two specifically. So I went to see Charlie last night, and what he told me is
That's
that
the young man that owns the bar over here that has a spectral friend.
yeah, the puka. From what he told me, it's escaped.
That is disconcerting, to put it mildly.
I don't
Yeah.
know much about pukas except
That's
for that
fair, yeah,
Charlie
he
was
didn't tell you he
terrified
got
of it.
Yeah.
I did feel a very strange presence last night. I managed to shake it off, but
What? Wait,
I think it
sorry,
was the
you
puka.
yourself felt a presence?
I think it was the puka.
Do I happen to have? I'm apparently going to ask this in dialect. Do I happen to have? I've got a flask of alcohol on me.
Mhm.
I take that out and say, for professional reasons, I promise. Would you mind draining the rest of this for me and
Oh dear.
letting me know how you feel?
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I think I know what you're going with this, but I don't think that's the thing. But I'll try it.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, he chokes
I think
back.
we're all right.
Yeah.
You know more about pukas than I do. If one got loose, could it cause insanity in someone?
I can make an occult check.
I'm still confused. Who is this and what?
It's the charlatan at the bar.
Oh, he's not a charlatan, I don't think.
No, I do venture to say we would be in a much better position if he was a charlatan. I think that's going to tell me something, Mr. Kevin.
Well, I did
Yes.
promise I'd stop by tomorrow, and
4 raises.
Yeah.
I did say I'd stop by tomorrow to see if we could help him out a
Sorry,
little bit.
4 raises.
Yeah. So what you know about pukas is they don't generally
Everything.
leave. Yeah, once they've landed on a person, they tend to stay. And in this instance, you can't figure out why it would have tried to leave because it's got a ready supply of alcohol and an alcoholic willing to drink as much of it as possible.
Could it
But-
have been because he was injured or the bar was gone? It was
Well-
just a lapse?
What Charlie said was, he quotes, he said that his puka didn't feel that this bar was good enough anymore. So I think we really should help him out if we can.
And as he lays out what happened the night before, I just want to quickly throw this in because this is a 21. So as he relays what happened the night before, he mentions that Charlie was hammered when he arrived. And then towards the end, after the attack, Charlie sobered up and complained about being hungover.
I do believe... Look, I think that these undead gentlemen and ladies in the mausoleum are definitely the place where we need to focus our attention, at least for the foreseeable future. But for the sake of this entire area and this town and its denizens, I am sure that Mr. Charlie is a wonderful human being, and this puka, they are not a particularly devastating creature as long as they're kept satiated. But if that puka was looking for another host, which Mr. Lucius, it sounds like your fortitude and strength of will was able to keep off, congratulations to you, sir. I do believe that for the sake of everyone, a couple of days of pitching in, helping to rebuild the bar, despite everything these teetotalers might say, could be one of the best things for this village.
Well, actually, Anastasia and I were discussing outside. She was interested in some business opportunities. She said she had some money to invest. So I sent her on over to Charlie to see if maybe they could work together and see if she couldn't help him rebuild.
The fact that we have a new investor and even the creation of a better bar, a faro table or two, while gambling and drinking may be sin, it's far less dangerous than a puka on the loose.
Yeah, well, I don't really know nothing about that, but like I said, I sent her on over to him. Told her that that what had happened with the train and the bar, and she went on over there. She made this very strong vodka that she had me try. I took a very small sip, and it was very, very strong. She's Russian, since you don't know her.
Wow. I would never say no to a polite introduction once more pressing matters have been resolved.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know that there was at least someone working on the bar situation.
Okay, well, that might settle that for now, but I think we should still help out Charlie if we can to keep the puka at bay in the future. So, but I just wanted to mention that on the probably many list of things that we'll probably have to take care of.
Yeah, before we leave, I do need to make one quick trip in to see Mr. Comfort.
Why, Miss Alice? Sorry, you said strip. It was a bad joke. It was out of character. Mea culpa, maxima culpa.
Listen. You don't know what Alice does in her free time. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
You had my interest, but now you have my attention.
She says,
she used to work with Busty.
Right?
Or Chesty, sorry, I got the name wrong. Chesty.
No, Chesty and Busty, they were sisters.
They're a tag team.
Well,
that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Yeah, that's all.
Damn. Anyway,
we wait until 7:30 Western, so it's after 10 o'clock somewhere out east.
But she says, I do need to make a quick trip in to see Mr. Comfort. It'll be less than 3 minutes. I just need to send a quick message.
Okay. Well,
Baptiste bows,
and she'll kind of like go take that as like go ahead and do it so that she can be done by the time you guys are ready to leave.
And yeah, these guys keep loading up the cart and whatnot.
I have a small question. Where is the road that goes from the edge of town to the graveyard, or where we're going? Like, where does it start in reference to other buildings? Oh,
between
it's like,
buildings.
yeah, It's between it's like down.
Okay, gotcha.
It's this arrow pointing down on the map. That is unfortunately, because of the map orientation, that's actually west. We didn't do the normal. North is up. As you can see, the large north arrow.
Yeah.
North is actually that away. But yeah, it is about half a mile out of town in that direction.
Okay, gotcha.
Kevin, can I ask Marshal? Kevin, can I ask a question? Not to derail everything, but that wide path of destruction is it weird at all? Like stuff's not growing, or the worms are 20 times their normal size, or there's carnivorous.
As you pass across, it, you start to stir it with your toe, and it is dead. There is nothing. There's not even, like, the birds aren't feeding. There's no worms in the ground if you dig in your toes. There's no signs of grass, moss, nothing, even though it's only been a couple days. But this appears to be the equivalent of, in other game systems, this would be desecrated ground. This doesn't. It gives you the impression it's never going to grow again.
Baptiste does a real quick, and I'm actually going to make a roll for this off of faith. Yep. Baptiste does a real quick sort of prayer to Saint Michael, just the prayer against the accursed or something like that, and then places his hand, buries it as deep as he can into the rubble, and see if there's any sort of reaction to it.
There's a very distant pull, like this only goes down to a certain depth. Like below this devastation, somewhere there's still roots and life.
He's going to he'll risk having a fingernail rip or something like. He's going to push through that Pleistocene, that dirt, as much as he can. How deep can his faith
shoveling
take his hand?
It's almost like shovels on your hands as you're pulling the dirt. Something is helping you. Whether you believe in that something or not is entirely up to you, but something is helping you move this dirt. And you go down about 3.5, 4 feet, and then like you're basically laying on the surface with your arms at full extension, and your fingernails drive into hard dirt, hard, healthy dirt below this mess.
Okay. He'll grab that little tiny bit of fingerful at that full 4 foot.
Yep.
And pull that up, and I'll assume Lucius is probably somewhere nearby, and sprinkle that little bit. He'll hold it out to try to get Lucius to hold his hand out. Sprinkle that little bit for Lucius's hand and say, that can be consecrated. It may not be as bad as we fear. But yeah, like his arms, like it's ripped up from the rocks.
It just dropped to his belly and started to dig and pray.
I'm staying near Lucius and away from Jett right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, after she left Jett, what did you do?
I am wounded, sir and ma'ams. No, I went and got my gun. I don't know. I feel weird about it, but in my mind, I'm just like, I'm excited because I figured this out, or think I have at least. So, I don't know. I'm still with them wherever they are.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something else you wanted to do before we go. Speaking of something else we wanted to do, Miss Alice, you make your way down the street, and just as you reach for that doorknob to the Paradise Dispatch, you hear two voices, just both Dan's. Like, it's not magical. It's just
He's
like you just kind of No. This is all in your head. This is just that flashback to yesterday, that
just
moment where he switched in front of you.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's just that sort of reminder of that, and you open the door and step in.
And when
there's Dan Comfort.
when I step in kind of like, you know how that kind of feeling of like when you've had an argument with a friend and you don't know how to like, just that feeling when you don't know how to approach something. So she kind of walks in like that, like, is he Dan? Is he the other one? Like, well, I don't know, you know.
It's clear as day. This is Dan Comfort.
Okay. She says she does not feel. I do not feel comfortable calling him by his name. Like, because it's not his name. So.
Well, his first name is Dan. It's Daniel.
Yeah, but it's so. I'm gonna kind of. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask him. Do you mind if I send a telegram just real quick, Mr. Comfort?
You go right ahead, ma'am, Miss Alice. We still got these, you know. And he holds up the daguerreotype plate. You left him with one, right? You took two.
Yeah. No, I left him with two. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he holds
says,
those
I know.
up. They're
I want to
now
make
wrapped
sure.
in paper.
Yeah, she says, I want to make sure that whatever we'll photograph with them is worthy of our new process testing.
I don't mean to be rude, Miss Alice, but we don't even know if they're going to work.
I know. Don't you worry. And then she kind of says that as like, shut up. Like,
yeah, and
like,
he kind of
don't you worry. Like,
he puts
stop.
him down on the table and then kind of pouts a little bit. Like the little bottom lip comes out a little bit.
And she's going to send a telegram. She's going to send to wherever her father is. I assume she's going to send it to the same place that she was receiving messages from him before.
Yeah, he's still at home. Yeah. So you
And
just send
she
to
is
that local place. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got two bits of information she needs, and this is the first bit. She wants to message him, and she will ask him, because he would know the party that her and Baptiste talked about. She sends him a telegram, and she just says, Lewis, she says, I've done you a favor. Now I need a small one in return. And it says the party of Miss, what was it? I can't remember what the name was. Alice would know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think we were Abercrombie or something.
It was like Aberdeen or
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Okay.
Yeah, Aberdeen, I think, something like that. And she says, my first party as you know, as a dignified woman, I need the list of guests that were at that event.
Okay.
Please.
So you request a guest list?
Yeah. Please figure this information out and respond post haste. And then you know, she'll sign it. The ever lovely Miss O'Hare, and she'll and then she'll
but a $12 telegram is just
so she sends it, and then she turns to Dan, and she says, she walks up to him and kind of sits on the front of the desk and just reaches her hand down, and I see she's gonna try to. Oh, I don't know if it's locked. It's probably locked, but she's gonna try to just open that drawer that has the magazine in it.
His story?
Yeah.
You reach over and pull that thing, and it's locked, and he goes, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a ring of keys.
Yeah.
Flicks through them, reaches over, just unlocks it, puts the keys back in his pocket, and leans back in his chair.
Yeah. And she pulls it out, and she picks the newspaper up and sits it down on the desk, and she says, I need him for a minute. And she's gonna do, just to get the point across, she's gonna do an overall.
Okay, yeah.
What?
So.
Yeah, he goes for the suave switch and kind of jarred by how serious you are. Like he was going to say something smug and smarmy.
Yeah.
But then he stops and says, for what?
And and I know it doesn't matter because I rolled really well, but I do have the stare, so it's +2 to that. Also.
Yep. I didn't. Yeah. He was already willing to help. He was just surprised by how deadly serious you've just turned.
And she takes out a piece of paper and she writes down Baptiste's name and slides it to him on the desk. Ryan, I can't look at Ryan right now. I'm so gonna like.
And there's, yeah, there would be. There is a flicker of recognition. And he grins and says, that might take some time, madam.
And she says, did you know he's here?
And there's a thud, a small thud, as the pen that he was holding in his hand hits the floor beside his chair. I did not.
I need to know what you know. Because judging by the look on your face, it's going to be important for me to know.
You say he's here?
Yes.
And Miss Alice, please don't take this the wrong way. But that man is far deadlier than you are. And I think I might just have to ask his permission before I speak with you.
Let me first ask you this. Are we in any immediate danger from this man?
Far from it. The exact opposite, indeed. You're not on his bad side, are you?
She's going to try. Ryan.
We're killing Ryan. We're absolutely killing him. This is wonderful.
He can't hear us anymore. She's going to try to overall again him into telling her, like she's going to try to stare him again into telling her what she wants to know.
We'll just go with that, the same role. He's still in this position. He freezes for a bit, and then he looks at you and he says, Miss Alice, can you imagine the opposite of a top 10 most wanted list? The top 10 people you'd rather have at your side if you were to meet one of the top 10 most wanted?
Oh, sure.
Let's just say this man, and he taps the name, would be on the top row. At least, he used to be. You're
And
sure
Alice...
he's here?
Oh, go ahead.
You're sure you're here? And he picks up the pen and starts scribbling on a piece of paper. He sees doing math.
Is he drawing him? Oh, no.
No,
okay.
he's doing math. He's doing some addition.
Alice will describe him, basically. We've got the ebony and the ivory pistol, and then the one that had with the blue that says sermon on it, and the purple stole with the crosses, and like she'll describe basically what he looks like and some of his behavior. She won't go into like super detail, but just kind of an overall like of how he acts.
He nods through the whole thing. He goes back to doing his math again on the piece of paper, then he scratches out what he's done. And he says, did you see a badge?
I did somewhat. I have been trying all damn day to get a better look at that badge. All I've been able to see is that it says Arizona and the two letters WY at the beginning.
White. Do you know anything about... No, you wouldn't. Let's just say that all the hero stories you hear didn't quite necessarily happen the way they get written.
I suppose. I mean, as a writer, we do always take the best bits. And of course, we can make
Miss
other
Alice?
things fit as we need.
I can't help but thinking you are about to become the story.
So far, we've had some scuffles, but mostly over societal discussions. Turns out he was actually at a party that I was at years ago, my first party as a young lady. And she says, "One thing, I'm curious." And then she kind of stops and like shakes her head like, I can't give him this information right now. And then stop, and then just kind of.
Well, Miss Alice, I will tell you one more thing, free of charge and without checking with the gentleman in question. I'd rather have him on my side than on the other side.
Well, so far, we have I would say at the very least, civil relationship.
And he looks down at the scribbled out math that he had on his piece of paper and he says, nobody knows what he's been doing for damn near 10 years.
Well, he's here now.
There's a whole chapter. He's kind of like he's almost forgotten about you, and he starts to mutter to himself, there's a whole chapter before that. And you can see the gears are just spinning.
Okay. He's clearly gone. Like, he's just done for the day with thinking about anything other than this. So she's gonna kind of just she'll like take the newspaper and put it back in the thing and close the drawer.
Yep, and his hand just comes out with the key. He doesn't even look, but his hand just comes out and locks it.
Yep. And then she'll say, please do let me know if I get a response to my telegram and my check. I really want my check.
Of course, Miss Alice. I'll do that right away, Miss Alice.
She had turned around, so she didn't know that he was back into Dan Comfort. So she literally does what
And you turn around and there's this little round middle-aged man scribbling notes on a piece of paper.
She was not expecting Dan Comfort to be back. Really, so that shocked her when.
Oh yeah.
She's not used to that yet. Like that's not. And so then she'll just leave, and she's just gonna go back to the group and try her very best to maintain her composure as a lady. And wants even more, she wants to see this badge. So she's just like a friggin' hawk.
And as you get back, the cart is loaded. Everybody's coming back from their various places. Jett eventually stumbles back across the street looking forlorn and sad, but also very happy and positive at the same time. No, not forlorn and sad. Abandoned. That's the word I wanted.
Smarts
Looks
check.
abandoned, but happy. Ellie's staying close to Lucius and away from Jett. It's quite obvious. There's sort of this three-way dance going on. Lucius appears to be completely oblivious to it. He's just being used as like a piece on a chessboard.
Yes, there's something weird
I was gonna ask if I could do a check on Ellie, but we'll keep it canon.
No, it's more fun this way.
So what's Baptiste doing?
Scrutinize Alice. No.
So what's Baptiste?
I am so proud. I'm so proud of you right now.
Just a quick thing, Kevin. I had also bought some blankets just in case. So
yep.
And I do offer anybody who wants a ride on the carriage again. Well, I guess the cat with the dead body.
There's only 2 bodies on the back, so
but there's room.
You could. Well, you tell me. There's room on the front seat for 3. Mm-hmm. Is it
Baptiste.
acceptable for anybody to ride on the back with the bodies?
Me. I don't think so.
So 3 of you can ride. The rest of you are going to have to walk.
I'll go get
Baptiste
my horse.
Baptiste's horse creepily comes out of nowhere.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, so you hop
So
up on your
obviously
horse.
Ellie. So obviously Ellie is riding because her leg.
Yep.
Who else
Miss
is
Ellie,
on
the cart may be more comfortable, but if you would like, you're free to ride.
I'd rather stick to the cart, but I appreciate the offer.
It's probably easier.
Yeah. I'm like
And-
not meeting anybody's eye right now.
Yep.
Alice is jumping on this opportunity. She says, "Why, Mr. Baptiste, I would certainly love to take you up on that offer so that you may ride on the cart."
That's from Ryan, not Baptiste.
I know. Oh, I know.
Why, Miss
Not
O'Hare,
you.
please. And actually, Baptiste gets off the horse and links his fingers to help her up onto the saddle.
Yep.
And like at a jog for a 70-year-old man at a jog keeps up without even breaking a sweat, coughing but
Yes.
without breaking the sweat.
Sound like that. I'll provide the sound.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, just like that one.
Okay.
this is what
And
11 hours
as
of
he
roleplay does
like
to my
helps her
voice.
up, and as he helps her up and everything, she says, "Why, thank you."
And side saddle on this spectacular
Mhm.
horse. Absolutely
Mhm.
stunning. I mean, Fancy's nice and all.
Yeah.
Fancy was very expensive. Yep.
Mhm.
I saw a finger.
18-hand chestnut palmetto.
Nice.
For anyone that's listening that knows horses.
There you
I
go.
grew up around horses, so I actually know. Yeah.
Well, that makes
There
it
you go.
easy then, because that puts Baptiste, Lucius, and Jett on the cart.
Yep.
No.
No.
Sorry,
Baptiste is running alongside the
and,
horse.
Ellie. Yes.
Oh, good.
Baptiste is on the horse with. Oh, it's Ellie and the boys on the cart. Look at that.
I knew
So,
he would
Lucius,
not be
it's your
able to
cart. I'm
refuse
assuming
a
you're riding.
lady
You're driving.
asking to.
Ellie and the boys.
I love that.
Is it cold out or hot warm out?
It's springs, and it's been a couple hours, and this is borderland desert, so it's getting to that point where it's almost uncomfortable already.
Okay, so no need to offer the blanket. But,
No. But this is, I mean, again, this world is not a place where you just pull your jacket off when it's hot. You damn well leave your jacket on and you suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is our order here?
Yeah, that's what
It
I'm
makes all the
interested in.
difference in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. I imagine. Like.
I imagine I'm in the middle.
Right.
Oh, this is about to be fun. Then. About to be that guy.
And Lucius
No,
is taller than both of them, right? So it's like a.
Yeah, and well, he's got his top hat.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So he's like one of those artificial dividers on, you know, that they keep the, you know, the ladies and the men separate at the, like in churches and stuff where you're not allowed to sit together.
Oh,
He's
I
that
mean,
guy right in the middle.
Rebecca runs fast, even just as a default. So probably Rebecca, the horse, is probably in the lead.
Yeah. And then with
Does.
with you
My-
running
my-
alongside.
My horse
And
does.
then,
Just
needless
a
to
steady
say, the
trot.
cart's going to have to go at a more dignified pace. It's carrying blockings, right?
and at some point during this ride, I'm gonna lean forward because it's like he can't stand for someone to have misunderstood, especially the dynamic that was there before. So it's that awkward. There's a person in between, but it's like, you know, I would never. It's not. There's a reason I asked. I would never. And I'm just very awkwardly reassuring, but just like, but you know, that just want to make sure you know. And just kind of lean back next to
Am I
Luke.
hearing this?
Kevin,
Oh yeah, I'm leaning in front
So
of you.
I'm probably gonna. I'm just gonna say, did I miss something here?
Kevin, can I roll a guts check to see if I can actually talk to him properly, or if I'm just gonna flinch away?
Absolutely. That is a wonderful idea. Give me a gut check. I like this. Thank you. I am a big fan of players making their own lives more difficult. Ooh, you... Well, I'll let you play it out how you want, but this is really, really difficult. But you can at least get the basics out.
Yeah. I'm not going to
It's
meet his
one
eyes.
success. So yeah.
I'm not going to meet his eyes, but I'm just going to say, I understand, Jett. I'm just worried for whatever may have happened to you, what it might be doing for your head. You do understand how you sounded alone in a room with someone who isn't exactly in top shape. If there's something else that's going on, I mean, I've never seen anybody heal themselves like this. I don't know what you are. I trust you, but I'd prefer if you, until you figure out what's happening, would keep your distance.
So sad, out of character. Oh man, yeah. It's just a.
Do you two get in a fight or something? What's going on here?
I'm ignoring him.
I'm also
I'm
apparently
waiting for somebody to just push him into the back of the car.
Well, fine if you want to drive. Oh, jeez.
I'm just like I'm so sorry. I will. Yeah.
You said you didn't look at him, Ellie, but you can hear the pain in his voice. Like there was no ill intent. That is now clear. It may or may not change anything, but it is clear in his voice that there was never any ill intent.
I'm going to not move any closer, but I am going to look at him and give him a small smile and just say, "You're a good man, Jett. I hope you know that."
I hope you never doubt that, ma'am. And I'm just gonna lean back and sit next to Lucius and just
Who's in the middle?
choke back the tear.
ride just gets real
I love that he's
awkward
big
and
enough
quiet.
to hide you from each other. So
Yep.
you don't
He's
act-
tall enough for sure with the hat and everything, yeah.
I'm just really confused and a little bit sad for some reason.
And as you guys head south
All
of town,
98
get to this
pounds.
you start to cross that devastated area that Baptiste was working with before, and you kind of can't help yourself. You look down where the bar used to be, and there is this spindly little figure in the bar moving around, but that's not what really gets your attention. There's a much sturdier looking female wearing leather and fur, who is carrying 8-foot beams across her arms and standing them up, and they just stay there. And she reaches down and picks something up, and you see she's got an entire 8-foot long bar table that seats 6 people in one hand. And she turns and says something to the skinny man, and he points, and she just walks over and puts it down. You're too far away to see anything that's happening to Charlie, but it is, yeah.
As we pass this, Miss Alice can just barely hear Baptiste notice this and say under his breath, "And the Lord has made us wonderfully made, and we are frightful and wonderful in our form."
Okay. I want to do a roll to see if Alice actually hears it, because she's on a horse. She's trying to pay attention to everything he does, but she's also like, she actually just learned a huge thing. So she's
Ephesians 2:10.
Lo, though she was lovely, I did not stare, for my wife was with me.
Okay. What dice do I roll?
Roll me a scrutinize.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. That's a 9.
You don't hear what he says, but his eyes are telling the whole story.
Okay.
They are admiring eyes. But I mean, you've seen Anastasia.
But not lustful.
Yeah.
I do want to actually point that out.
Yeah.
Not lustful. Appreciative, but not lustful.
Alice will say, "Yes, Anastasia, she is quite something."
Anastasia, you say?
Mm-hmm.
a good friend of mine, Mr. Bill, he gave me a book, Anna Karenina, a number of years ago. It was quite a read.
Would Alice have read that in school? I feel like maybe.
At this point in time, I have my doubts as to whether that would be been in English yet.
I mean, technically, it came out in the 1870s. I think maybe American.
So maybe
American
it's like a manuscript.
Let's go with you've heard of it and you've read a review.
Okay.
Because it's a Tolstoy book, right? It's like that thick, isn't it?
Yeah, Tolstoy. Like late 1860s, 1870s. I think it might be a new novel. I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'm sure the internet will tell me.
Someone will correct us, yeah.
Well, Alice...
And then I will tell them that they are wrong, because in my world, that's how this works.
Right.
We do what Kevin wants.
That's right. In another game, I have the Spanish Inquisition and the Roman army in the same field at the same time. Exactly. I can do what I want.
It's fine. So I'll say, well, and also, Miss Anastasia is also a princess. So when you do meet her, just bear that in mind.
Well, in the South, all ladies are princesses.
Why, you do so flatter me so.
And then out of nowhere, he even has a drink.
Okay.
As he's running along beside the horse and having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Right. Break. You're more tired riding the horse than this man appeared. This sick-looking old wrinkled man is keeping.
Yeah.
No,
so the drink is a joke, but in all reality, sick, coughing, 70 years old, but at a solid jog, he keeps up with the horse.
Yeah. Okay.
So the two of you are going to get there first. Go ahead, Sarah.
I was just gonna say, say that, you do flatter me. So, and then she's just gonna she's just watching him. She's just trying to hoping maybe with the flap of the wind that badge will just.
He's below you and he's out in front.
Yeah,
he's
I know.
Sort of running at the reins and you're kind of.
That doesn't make her try any less.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What you're saying does
not
make her try any less.
You almost fall out of the saddle a couple times trying to get a look, but damn it, you just. Yep. You're not getting any more this session is the impression that you get from the world.
Just to be clear, I'm not going to, but Alice would fall out of the saddle on purpose just if she thought that would get her a glimpse of that.
Well, there you go. Our mad researcher has said it was written in 1873.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all canon now.
So the two of you, one on horseback and leaning like the worst side saddle rider ever, because she's up on one cheek of her bustle trying to get a look down, and the bustle's springy, so she's kind of horses. It's not her horse, and it's not a horse that's used to carrying a woman side saddle, so it's all weird. But that stops being important, because as the two of you come up to the gates of the cemetery, first the gates are closed. They were open yesterday, but given that the ceremonies have been put off, this kind of makes sense. Maybe they just want to keep people out. But through that gate, at that mausoleum where you put the bodies last night, outside of it, lying in the grass, blowing slightly in the wind, are 3 empty winding sheets.
Yeah, same. Alice's rifle comes off her shoulder.
Yeah, actually Baptiste cocks 2 pistols, but then from the side saddle brings out a rifle.
Okay. You see that the gate is not locked. In fact, it does not lock. It's just one of those ones where there's a bar and then there's a Y-shaped thing that just drops over it like that. It'd be the work of a moment to unlock it. You guys are still slightly behind because they were much quicker than you.
Do we see this?
I mean, it's only a half a mile down this road, so you see them get to the fence and suddenly tense up and weapons come out.
Okay, I'm like
Baptiste will actually he'll stop anyone until the rest of the group comes up.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna-
Alice is
I'm
gonna
stop
request
the whole
to
time.
get down.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop right now. I'm like, Ellie, I think it's best in your condition to stay in here. Do you have your gun with you?
I immediately pull it out.
Good. Here's a knife just in case. Jett, come with me, and if you have to, turn around. You know how to draw.
Do it. They
Get
all
reinforcements.
look. Does everybody come up to the same spot? Like we all bunch up a bit.
It's up to you guys. Are you moving up towards them?
Yeah. I drop down, take my shovel off, and with a flare, just spin it around, get it ready, and walk towards you.
Looking back, what kind of weapon does Ellie have?
I have a Colt Master, I believe it's called. A Colt Peacemaker, sorry.
Okay. Baptiste will go back and hands a obscenely nice rifle with a scope mounted on the top of it. Hands it up to you. Miss Elilie, if you would, please.
I've never fired a rifle before. I take it like carefully and look at it because this is worth probably more than I make in 3 months.
You have my utmost confidence over the next hour or so. The principle is the same. Everything will just look much closer.
Are you sure I shouldn't come with you guys?
Well, whatever you feel you're physically able to do, and as this is really specific. I'm sorry, I know it seems cryptic. Does Ellie take it from his hands?
I'd take it, but I'd make sure not to touch you. I'm very careful to take it.
As you take it, he lets go and lets his fingertips brush across your leg. And I cast it. If I make any contact whatsoever, I cast Lay on Hands. Okay. Let me make the roll. Let me make a roll real quick. And if I fail, I take Ellie's wounds on myself.
Yep. So before you can even, you're like, don't drop this, don't drop this, don't drop this. And just one finger just touches just the side of your boot on the,
Jesus Christ.
And you're not even sure
roll,
he touched
Ryan.
you. It
Jesus.
might have been so close that it felt, like that. I don't know if you've ever had somebody like be a 16th of an inch away from your skin. You can feel it.
Yeah.
And you just start to twitch away and you just have time to think, he didn't touch me. And boom, there's this warm flow up your leg and you feel the muscles tense and relax. And you kind of wriggle your ankle around and there's no need for this splint anymore.
And I don't know if this is possible, and if it's not, it's a role play thing, and that's fine. Baptiste gives I'm going to try to describe this the best that I can, but we'll role play it later. It's a wink, but it's not creepy. It's not sexual. It's none of that stuff. It is the like, I know, I understand you don't like physical touch. I'm just trying to help. It's the most like, hey, this was for you, and I'm sorry I didn't ask your permission first. In a split second, that's what
an innocent wink.
Yeah, it's just the like, you're better now.
I felt him touch my leg, right?
Just barely.
Well, I would have seen his hand come that close too.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, he did it.
He still touched me, but the second it came even close, I flinched so hard I fell off the wagon. I still healed, but I'm so strong right now.
Off the wagon on the other side, you're laying there with your splinted leg up in the air, knowing that it doesn't need to be in the splint anymore.
I'm running back. Like, oh my God.
Baptiste knows well enough to not to try to offer to help her up.
Yep. But Ellie laying there.
So he looks sorry.
Yeah.
He looks sorry.
So laying there on the ground, you get this sort of rapid succession of the looks on his face. And you reacted the only way you could. the only way you ever would. But again, for the second time today, there was no ill intent.
I'm gonna start pulling off the bandage and then just kind of flex my leg.
Yeah, you grab your
Just-
knife that Lucius gave you and just cut those straps, those little bits of cloth, and the pieces of wood fall away. And yeah, it's
As I walk towards the front, I slap maybe a little too hard Jett on the back and pull 2 revolvers out and say, Marshal, it's time to unlock keep.
Yeah, Alice would have watched Baptiste do all that, and then once seeing everybody was caught up in the commotion, she would have like turned back to look where the gun we were pointing the guns earlier.
I respectfully, if I catch up to Ellie, I respectfully like, are you okay? Do you need help? Like
I
God.
just stare at my leg and I'm just like, it's healed.
If I'm not mistaken, it is perfect.
yeah.
Another miracle.
I'm trying to decide if I saw this, because that's gonna be real.
I didn't hide it. I didn't hide it at all.
Yeah,
If
the
that
conversation had happened right in front of you with the rifle. You might have been slightly distracted by the rifle, but once she barrel rolled off the back and then started cutting the thing off of her leg, I would suggest that it would become fairly obvious what happened. Miss Alice, well, look at Sky's face. He is thinking so hard. I'm going to give him a minute.
Yeah, and I just wanted because like I would have watched Baptiste to see what he was doing, and then when I saw that, it's
You
like,
turn, yeah.
Okay, but hold on, there's a thing, and she kind of
There's
was
a
like,
thing,
"Oh, there's
yeah,
a
and
thing."
you're like, wait a minute, it's behind us now. You turn
Yeah,
around, and
yeah.
there are these 3 sheets on the ground just blowing in the wind. You recognize them; they're winding sheets.
Yeah.
There's a bit of blood on a couple of them, which makes sense because these bodies were, for the most part, mutilated and torn apart by the very act of being possessed by these creatures. The door to the mausoleum is closed.
Okay.
And there's no other sound around. It's a typical cemetery, and it's weird. There's only certain animals that seem to go around cemeteries. Lots of ravens, lots of sparrows, not so much squirrels, gophers, not so much cute stuff. And that's what you see here. Lots of sparrows and lots of ravens. And for anybody who's really got their occult nerd going, sparrows are also psychopomps. What's a psychopomp? Somebody said, who you should go watch the previous episodes is the answer. But the short answer is they are creatures or entities whose purpose is to escort the dead to the after.
Yeah. Alice doesn't know nothing
At least,
about that.
at least he said, looking at the priest's face, thus go some of the local legends.
Alice is
I was more focused on a party member.
Alice's camera setup for magnifying glass.
Okay.
This is the first time I see the camera.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it is. This is the first time I've passed.
off of the out of this weird, largely constructed backpack she wears all the time.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I heal someone, they fall off, they don't appreciate it, I apologize, I pull out 2 guns, and then someone pulls out a big ass fuck all camera.
Yep.
Okay.
Just like,
Great.
I've had enough of you. Yeah. You could see that. You can read the body language on the back of Miss Alice's head. It's just, I had enough of you today.
Yeah. And she's, she's of course she's sitting it up, and she's kind of because you can't just, it's not like you can't just turn it. You have to pick it up and move it to like look around. So she just starts at one end.
Yeah, the tripod doesn't pivot, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So she just starts at one end and just picks it up and moves.
So at a
it.
slight angle, Miss Baptiste turns just over her shoulder and says, Miss Alice, I assume that the premise is the same. Point and shoot.
Damn it, right.
Oh, where was that? What? Just to make that easy to clip, where was that?
Alice.
Because that's got to be the clip for this week.
Yeah.
Right? It goes with the one from last week.
Alice says, "It is the exact same, and I never miss."
Thank you.
Thank you.
And here's the best part. While all this is happening,
Mhm.
Jett's blank. Jett,
No.
there was a weird shift of emotions that went a couple places, and then he's just blank and focused. And he had originally pulled out his pistol, but then after seeing all that happen, he stowed it, pulled out his shotgun, and he's blank, and he pushes in. Like he's in the gate.
Oh my lord.
So you,
Yep.
Miss Alice, you're just picking up the camera to like over here.
Follow
there's nothing.
Jett's lead.
Yeah.
Second fiddle.
So over
I'll
here
be
there's
right.
nothing. You turn over here. You can just see out of the corner of the eye the 3 winding sheets.
Mhm.
You turn again to set it up, and you just see as 2
Yeah.
out of focus shapes run past because they're right close, right? So they're just there's kind of a gray shape and then a darker gray shape just run across, and you kind of pop up from underneath.
Yeah.
And the 2 of them are running across the grass towards the mausoleum.
She's like, damn it.
Come on, Miss
Um,
Alice.
And she'll like, God, I hate this. She wants to follow them, but she doesn't want to leave the camera. So she's literally just gonna like whoop it up, like swoop
Yep.
and pick it up and go.
And just
But
right
she's
through the gate. Yeah.
she's so slow. Like she
Yep.
is like, yeah. But she's trying to get at least close to where they are, and then she'll set the camera back down again.
Perfect. So yeah, you get into the point where because they're a fixed field of view, right? You can't do this. So you get to the spot where you would have the shot of the mausoleum, the winding sheets, and the 2 of them who are just arriving, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she'll set it down.
Perfect. So you get it set up again and get back underneath and start looking again.
Yep.
Miss Ellie, you are, not to put it too politely, on your butt in the dirt outside the gate.
And I'm also kind of just
Lucius,
offering-
you are in the still on the cart, I believe.
No, I came down.
Oh,
I
no,
came
that's right. You came
back
down, yeah.
to offer help to
Right.
help Ellie up if she wanted to.
Yep. And the 2 gun shows just. Jett, he's keeping up with you step for step. This old man is on the brink of making you look bad.
Alice, as soon as they're in a good point, 'cause
Oh, he's right
she wants
behind
a
him.
picture. She wants a picture of Baptiste and Jett together now, because she's seeing this happen, and she's like, "Oh, this is beautiful," and so she's goes still daguerreotype.
You take the cap off, 2 seconds, cap back on.
Yep,
Well, Miss Ellie, should we catch
and
up
then she
with them?
packs it up.
Okay.
Pulls the gun back out.
Ellie's just like taking a second to catch her breath and like convince herself not to freak out.
Oh, and you're still laying there with this incredibly expensive rifle across your chest.
I just kind of like toss it
didn't
to
drop
the
it.
side.
Yeah, you just. Well, how about you go to toss it, and it's too nice, so you just kind of lean it against the side of the cart. Like you don't want to have to pay for this if you break it, right?
Yeah.
I'll
And then-
probably-
I'm just playing off what you came out to me with me earlier. So then
Yeah.
pistol out and
And yeah, I'm gonna grab my actual pistol and I'm just kind of gonna look at Lucius and just say, I've never wanted to shoot something more in my life, and stand up and start going towards the following everyone else.
he's got the shovel in both hands and he's doing that batter thing.
10% chance she's going to shoot
That's what-
Baptiste in the back of the head.
That's what I love. That's the
Yeah,
spirit.
He's
Let's
doing
go.
that like the baseball player with the working the tar into the bat. You know, he's just because it's new, right? It's brand new, so he's trying to get some grip into it as you guys work your way through the gate.
As we get up, if she left the dagger, I'm just going to drop my dagger and just put it away. If she just left it.
You guys, the 2 of you with guns, leap up. You hear poof behind you. Maybe Jett, it might register that a picture's just been taken. Yeah, I was just gonna say Baptista's like, I heard gunshot. Oh, it's her. Okay, and you come back around. You guys run up to these 3 winding sheets on the ground. You look at the door of the mausoleum first. It's closed. It's quiet. There's no noise coming from inside. The 3 winding sheets on the ground is going in the morning wind.
Deputy, the sheriff, allow me. And he waits for a nod or a yes from Jett.
What does he look like he's doing?
Opening the door.
Yeah, Jett, you weren't here, so you don't know what's inside there, right?
It doesn't matter because the worst part is I'm not paying attention to him. I wasn't paying attention to that camera flash. As soon as I see that's what he's about to do, without even thinking, I just grab it and pull it open.
The door? Okay.
If it can be pulled open.
Yeah. Baptiste is like, whoa, shit, dude, maybe I should have, The door opens and this weak morning light kind of filters in, because the night before it was quite bright because the sun was behind you, but it's, like I said, it's to the west of town. So, pardon me, this is the morning sun then shining in behind you. And as you sort of step out of the way to allow the light so it's not blocking your shadows, all those, Baptiste, you put them in there orderly and polite. They are all over the place. They're all still in their winding sheets.
Moving?
They're lapped they're not moving. There is no motion at all. But they're overlapped over each other. They're piled in corners. They clearly jittered and danced the night away, but it has stopped now. The only one that is exactly where you put it is the one you shot in the head.
The lady?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, just to make things fun,
Jett, there's a jumble of bodies in here, all wrapped in winding sheets. Go ahead, Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Baptiste?
know. I don't know. I want to figure things. Hold on. I want to figure something out.
While he's doing that, I would have had my gun aimed in, but then after seeing that, I would have just kind of still have it, but I'm not aiming down the barrel.
Sure. Well, while we check that, Miss Alice, you do what you have to do after a photograph. You slide the covering down around it to seal it, and you slide the little piece of wood across the bottom to close that box, and you take that print. And when you take it out of the camera, it's warm, physically warm to the touch. And you look, and it's a wooden frame that it's sitting in, the wooden box that it's sitting in.
Yeah.
There's just a tiny bit of smoke coming out of one corner. And you kind of, before you think about it.
Oh, no.
It's not wood smoke.
It's ghost rock smoke.
It's ghost rock smoke.
Interesting.
Okay.
And the heat starts to fade away in your hands, and it goes back to feeling normal. And
Does
wondering
the
what the
smoke-
hell the
Yeah.
smoke stops.
Oh my god, I'm so
It's
happy
like
I
it
had
was
this
part-
idea.
It was like, you've seen enough, you know enough about photography. This was like it was part of the development process.
Yeah, that's what I was
Somehow exposing this to light.
it had the
caused-
chemicals already in it.
in somehow the
Which
chemicals and the steel and the light
Yeah,
all
modern
react.
day, like a Polaroid. But this was obviously she doesn't know what that is. But so
Yep.
it's kind of like
And you slide that. You want this developed bad.
yeah. She's
But
thinking
you
did
slide
I
it into your
leave chemicals?
backpack.
Did I drop some chemicals in the did I drop chemicals in my
You go back through it over in your head. I mean, remember you didn't make these. Dan
Yeah.
did. But you remember putting this one in, and it seemed this is straight. You weren't expecting this.
Okay. All right. Oh God. Okay. So as soon as she's over that little hump of what the hell just happened, I imagine by this point they've opened the door and that they're looking at what's inside.
Looking at all the bodies, yeah.
So she's pulling the gun back out, and she's slowly approaching. And trying to see what it is that they're looking at. And,
So the three of you that are close, in other words, yeah. Baptiste, you look like you were going to say something.
No. Nope. No.
Baptiste, Jett, and Miss Alice, if you could please make scrutinize checks for me as you kind of look around and inside.
Yes, sir.
Damn,
the scrutinize
Jett.
under-
that blew up.
Jett is so focused.
Ready to start under cognition. Third one down.
I think I'm looking
Great.
as close as I can. I look like the sheriff did that day. Just there's nothing else. There's just this straight, flat
Fail.
focus.
It's not a critical, but it is a fail.
No. So yeah, you are focused entirely on these winding sheets and the state of these bodies and how this is incorrect and this is not proper and this is not how this is done.
Would you say that it's bad enough that everything here is wrong?
Everything
From
here is
Baptiste's point of view?
definitely wrong, which is probably causing a bit of a stir in you because maybe part of you thought you were beyond that.
So when
simple right and wrong.
So whenever you throw the door open and we look in and there's bodies laying over the top of each other and everything goes on, Baptiste has 2 seconds and then all of a sudden Baptiste squeezes a round off. He fires. He shoots. He sees one of the bodies still moving. It's a zombie. It's coming for us. And he fires.
Into the mausoleum.
Into the mausoleum.
So,
yeah.
Bing!
So you throw the door open, Jett. Baptiste starts shooting.
You turn around to look because he just fired like right past you, and you're in this super hyper focus mode. You are ready to shoot, and you almost have to fight off the urge to just react. There's a man standing in front of you with a pistol pointed in your general direction, but then over his shoulder, on the top of the fence behind him, you see a body bent almost in half on one of the spikes of the fence behind him.
Is he like squeezing off rounds, or did he just fire one? And what does he look like? Like, does he look shook? Does he look focused? Does he look
It's something to kill.
like angry?
So after that first shot
This
goes
is
in
the
there,
job.
there's that shot. You look in, there's no more movement. What does he do? Jett spins to you and then gets distracted by something over your shoulder.
Yeah, my focus shoots to that.
No, it's shepherd sees a wolf. It's not angry. It's not
Yep.
scared. It's
Oh.
the job.
Just
Oh, well,
doing
then
your
I would
job, yeah.
recognize that probably.
Yeah. Sort of hand comes up and lightly touches the stole or something, but
And when I see that on the fence, I'd be looking at it, and then I would just do like a little nod in that direction, hoping he'd see that what I'm doing.
as you start to turn, give me Jett, give me scrutinize, please. Another one. Because now you're really paying attention to this guy that's hanging on the fence.
Oh,
Damn.
You're not sure who it is. You're gonna have to go over and check.
I'll start walking. That
You look
way.
around and things seem to have calmed here. There's a little bit of gun smoke drifting away on the wind. Miss Alice looks terribly excited about something.
I'm just walking.
She's almost shaking.
You get over there, Jett. It's Jeb. Jeb Early, the gravedigger, is dead. And the cause of death is absolutely obvious. He has been cut from ear to ear with something unbelievably sharp. There's no tearing, there's no ripping, there's no resistance. Where it went through the trachea, it didn't even separate them in the action. Just one clean cut. And he's hanging on the fence like that. And he's almost completely bled out. He's dead, but he's, because of the way he's hanging, all the blood in his upper torso is drained out through this cut. A gunshot rings out of the woods. Single round. Ping! Off the corner of the mausoleum. A little bit of granite dust starts to fall. Time slows down. It's time. Two of you in particular, this is what you were born to do. And that's where we'll start next week.
No!
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 Damn it!
I'm
I
sorry
love it when you
about
guys
the
don't look at the
volume
clock. I
spike.
love it when you don't look at the clock.
I was watching.
I was looking at the clock, but I'm like,
No, I was looking at the clock and I was like,
I knew that was gonna happen.
yeah.
I mean, normally when the gravedigger dies, it's like when the barber needs a shave, but we got a backup, so it'll be all right.
Oh,
I don't know what everyone's so worried
Karis,
about.
thank you so much.
Love you,
angry.
Karis.
Well, thanks,
Karis.
Karis.
I'm so upset.
And oh
as a
boy,
player.
Starfax Machine, that's going to take some explaining. You should probably just go to our website and watch all the replays. Shameless plug. Shameless plug right there.
You can find them there on YouTube too. Anywho, I'm kind of wondering if that cookie fella is the same one I knew all those years ago when I ran that trading post.
Starfax Machine, what is this campaign about? Every dead wood with zombies.
Yeah, there you go. That's the easy way to do it.
All right, well, I think that's the show for this week. Kevin's got some announcements, and we'll see you next week.
Oh man, you guys, we did it again. It was supposed
I'm
to be.
so mad.
Oh,
I'm
I know.
so
And you got a
angry.
whole week to
Like,
stew in
we're
it now.
friends, but I'm mad.
My heart hurts. I need a
Oh,
break.
man.
it's been such a long couple of days and you fucking made it worse now.
Worse. Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
You didn't help.
Oh, I
Ladies
can't believe
and
that's where we
gentlemen,
stopped.
Those of you that are watching, thank you so much. I kind of cliffhangered us there a little bit, just a little tiny bit. I want to start by thanking all these incredible people that told this story with me tonight. If I just sit here and tell the story, it's one thing, but when I get to watch these faces emoting just all over the place, even when it's not their scene, it makes me
Yeah,
very,
that's-
very
sorry.
happy.
My
No,
face
don't
is not very
apologize for that,
quiet.
Matt. I live for this shit. I love to perform and being able to see an audience. I know most of our audience I can't see, so you guys I can. So with that, the people I can see, I also want to, as I introduce each one of them, I want them to tell you what else they do when they're not here being abused by me. So let's start right next to me by the man who I think two of us angered tonight in a positive and wonderful way.
It's again my new favorite mini game. How much
That-
can I make Ryan hate me?
Baptiste, played by Ryan from Roll for Initiative. So give us an update on what's going on over at RFI, please.
Oh, we've got so much going on. The two new videos that we've got such a fun video that is our sponsored video, Cabinets and Cocktails. If you like old school cabinet 1980s games, there's a really great one that is Tapper. If you've ever thought that it was easy being a bartender, you've got to watch that one. And then on Thursday, we've got one that's coming out that's absolutely perfect for spoopy season. It's all about running a horror-based campaign, which is what I did at Gen Con, and it's the perfect season, and it's all about how to create that sense of being scared as a GM or as a player. So that's a great one for the next month or so. So please check that one out and then share it because we obviously want to grow.
You bet. And we just put the link over in chat. It is attached to a different player's biography for various reasons. The two players are sharing the same webpage, shall we say. So go check them out at Roll for Initiative. There is a bazillion back episodes of stuff to watch. They do game reviews, painting. Oh, they cover it all. Very talented group of people. And it is a joy and a pleasure to have you both with us on various nights of the week.
Thank you.
Next in line, Miss Ellie, played for us by Hannah, who had some technical difficulties tonight, but managed to pull through with a great scene at the end. So thank you for that. When I asked everybody what else they were doing online, you looked all shy and said, I'm not doing anything else online. So we're going to fix that. So this week you don't have anything to say, but I would like to think that at some point we can come up with some kind of content for you to do.
Maybe one day.
We will work on that. Maybe we'll have you start a bar blog for you and Charlie and
Oh, I could do
Anastasia.
that.
Or something of
I
that
think
sort.
she can
Drinks
yeah.
and magic tricks.
I got
There you go.
ideas.
Oh, I love it.
I
Drinks
got
and
ideas.
tricks. Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. So now we got something to talk about next week. I love this. You got a week to figure out what you're going to do with that. Next in line, no pressure. Next in line, Lessamax, who plays Lucius, our Undertaker, who finally has a job. The last one in the group to get a real job.
Finally.
He hasn't figured out if he's getting paid yet, but he has the title.
I feel bad for Jett, actually, in all honesty. So
I understand, Lucius Lessamax, that you are an actor when you're not doing this. Is that accurate?
Well, I call it my fall job in October. I work in a haunted house called Demonton, placed in Edmonton. So Demonton, Edmonton.
So it's scary and cold.
Yes. So it is amazing just to just scare people around this time of the month. Let me tell you.
Let me get this straight. You get to get paid to jump out from behind shit and scare people.
Yep.
Okay, that's like the second best job in the world. The best one, of course, would be getting paid to do this, but that is a pretty damn impressive second job.
I love it.
I'll come up and do that with you.
Yeah.
Do you have a spare room?
You do have to audition, actually, but
I think
I think you'd fit in
fine.
right
Yeah, I
in.
think he's
You'd fit in
Probably
right
pull
in,
something out of his
honestly.
bag of
Rawr.
Auditions are in August, by the way. But if
It's a new twist on Halloween.
But if any of you are interested, or if you're in Edmonton or heading to Edmonton in this month of October, come check it out. It is at in Edmonton at 7031 Gateway Boulevard. It's a big old warehouse and
you know what he looks like now. So when he jumps out and goes, you just go right back at him.
Oh, but the thing is, you don't know what I look like, actually. The thing is,
So just do it to all of
I'll
them.
know
Just-
what you look like, right? I'll find you, but you won't find me.
There we go.
So come check it out if you get a chance. And at the front, there's a concession and stuff like that. So they sell beer and stuff like that, and a few other snacks, I believe. So, but no refunds and no heels, please. Okay, we don't want you to.
Yeah, we don't want you falling over and and if you pee yourself, that's on you.
Oh yeah, and that's a real thing, actually.
Literally,
It does happen.
On you. Yeah.
We call that a code. We call that a code yellow.
So yeah, every third scary guy has a mop. I understand. So down on the bottom row, I'm going to do this one and going to swoop around and come back because I want to finish this with our big reveal. So at the far end, as far away from me, so far away I can't even hardly reach him. Way down there in the corner is Jett, played by Sky, known as Noctum Sky online. He streams many things, but we have done a thing to our fine friend Noctum Sky. We have given him a job, and he has taken it so seriously that he has stopped doing pretty much all his other streaming, as far as I can tell. So why don't you tell us what's taking up all of your time?
I actually have been working on our YouTube page, which is Mercenaries of Mischief over on YouTube. The link is in the chat. I'll put it again before we leave, but there you can catch up on all our previous episodes, all the projects we've done on this channel throughout time, one-shots, animations, compilations, and everything else. So,
and we just very recently hit a milestone there, did we not?
Yeah, we recently hit 100 subscribers, and we're so happy, and we thank you so much for the support. There's actually a thank you video up on the YouTube.
There is a thank you video, and for those that don't know, because I didn't know, when you get to 100 followers on YouTube, you get to actually name your channel. So when you put a link up, it isn't just XYWAF2792 / it's actually your name. So it was kind of a big deal. And yes, you have to watch that thank you video. Of course, to make perfect sense out of the thank you video, you also need to go back and watch all the Too Many Warlocks episodes, or you won't know who's talking to you. So there's some more shameless self-plugging we're going to get done there. Speaking of shameless self-plugging, we have two really interesting things happening within the next week. I'm going to go first because I think mine is I want yours to be last. Next Monday. Yeah, look at him grinning over there, Sky. Sky and
He's so
I
happy.
get to play Dungeons and Dragons with Joe Cat. For those of you that do not know who that is the crap guide to D&D, the crap guide to warlocks, the crap guide to clerics, and many, many, many more. He is going to come and I assume try and figure out what the hell 4 warlocks are doing playing the game. That's next Monday. He's apparently playing a cleric. So we can finally get in a fight.
I'm
Kill
so
somebody.
excited that there's going to be a cleric with pins.
Yeah, because as soon as you get a cleric, you get to go into combat.
Well, we have 4 warlocks. We don't do combat very well. There's only one of them that can hit anything with any kind of consistency, and she can only do it twice, and then she's out of spell slots. So
Oh, wait, who is that?
that would be that other roll for initiative person. that
Daggerfield
probably-
girl.
Yeah, Daggerfield. That's the meme. That's
If
what
I
it's gotta be.
remember.
Yes, Key 3 on our Too Many Warlocks episode is cohabitating with our fine member here tonight, for those of you that had not figured out the increasingly less subtle hints we've been dropping all day. But the time for hinting is over. Miss Alice, played by Sarah, this Thursday. I got the voice is already raunchy. I might as well use
Right.
it. This Thursday at the arena. What are we going to see on Mercs of Mischief?
If you come around on Thursday, you are going to see straight from the heart of London our premiere episode of Clockwork Dominion. Game run by the
This is the
game
important bit.
creator.
Yeah.
Run
Wow.
by the creator of the game on
So
Thursday.
as I understand it, this Thursday is character creation / session
Yes.
0. Is that correct?
So yes, this first session is going to be character creation. So we played the video at the break, and this game this Thursday, especially if you want to know about mechanics and stuff, the game,
Yes.
it's going to be a great show to watch, because we're gonna be diving into character creation, how you create characters, and probably there's going to be a lot of mechanics discussion as well.
Sure.
Uh,
And
so
for
it is
those
gonna
of you
be-
that are not familiar with Clockwork Dominion, and I imagine that's probably most of you are not familiar with it, I have a 2-word teaser that will get you to show up this Thursday. And then when are you guys playing? It's every second week?
Yes, it's every other week.
Every
for-
second week after that. So we will absolutely keep you up to date during all these other sessions. But for those of you who haven't seen it before, I have a 2-word teaser for you, and that 2-word teaser is social combat. Oh,
Combat.
and if that doesn't get you to watch, I don't know what will. So
Yeah.
having said that, and having made sure that
One more
know
thing.
everything
Yeah,
that's
we
going
will
on.
be. We won't be
Oh,
doing
yes.
the Halloween episode. We will be skipping the day of Halloween.
Yeah, one more
Oh,
thing
okay.
that Marty
Yes.
forgot to put in. I do not forget. I omit with intention. You can't keep it. Well, when we get to 400 followers, we have another raffle, as we do every 100 followers, and we got this awesome Elderwood Academy spell scroll dice tray. It's really
yeah,
cool.
go just Google that Elderwood Academy dice tray, and
the
try not
scroll
to
dice
drool all over
trays.
your computer.
They're awesome. They roll up.
It's
They're
glorious.
very
Have
convenient.
nub.
They premium nubs.
Premium nubs. And here's the thing: they roll up and they go in the dice tower, and then the dice
Mhm.
towers have lids and bases, and you can
Mhm.
take the whole thing in one hand and go gaming. It's like a one-handed gaming system.
Yeah, check
Oh,
the
your
link
dice,
down in our
everything.
panels.
Oh.
Just check out the Elderwood Academy stuff. Oh, geez. Okay, there you go.
She's
but
gonna
yeah,
wear
so
those
if
all
you
the way
haven't-
till Thursday now.
If you haven't given us that follow yet, make sure that you give us that follow and tell your friends to come in and jump on that train too, because we're giving away cool stuff. All right, Kevin, take some.
And with that, this week it actually makes sense. I'll shoot you next week. Good night.
Needed so much. I should have signed the DNR. Do not reincarnate. I've been a gnu, a gnoll, a gnome, a bear and a bug, and a bugbear. I once was a tree and a ranger axed me.